is the most boring person to talk to. I got 45 minutes to fucking kill here. This guy is boring as shit.
Right.
Or did they reach out to you?
It was one of you have to look him in the eye, knowing that he sucks, and you want him out of your house. My phone screener can't make it in today.
right.
You want to come into the studio? Yeah, you talk to that drunk dude from Redford for 20 minutes, and if you can do that, you can talk to any of these dipshit bands. There was a dead person they found in one of the rooms one time.
Fun, and we were innocent. We weren't even armed.
Because I've died twice. Like shadowy little, something moving, walking back and going back and forth in front of the gate. I remember feeling it's not my time to go yet. And he's like, it's not your time yet.
It's not your time.
It's not your time
Not your
yet.
time to go.
And it was kind of like, it's not your time.
not your
Straighten
time.
your shit up.
That's not very rock and roll.
Yeah. I'm a damn alien. I have tentacles inside my penis right now.
Make them a little saucier.
Good radio.
.com.
Waves.com.
All
Tune in for
right.
the zaniness.
Zany, wacky,
Zany and wacky.
Oh my God.
Crazy and wild, zany DJ
here we
every week
go.
like this. It's that psychology.
Yeah, you got like the links perfectly placed with the
Sounds right.
colon, and then like it's all.
The cold much barking at your gate trying to get some
Yeah.
of that bone.
Yeah.
Listen for 3 hours about moist
Well,
clams.
trust me,
I
all
literally
day.
screw in 3 bolts on a car.
Dude.
That's it.
Oh, do you realize how dumb that sounds?
No, I know it's very dumb.
It's like, well, why? Why is it set up like that? What does the next guy do? Does he do 3 more bolts?
I thought this was gonna be rock and roll and
Dude,
sex, drugs. Now I'm just talking about what I feel so bad for people that actually have to work, but I do. I really should be getting paid minimum wage.
Sounds right.
That's the power of unions.
Get-
Wonderful bonuses. World War II airplane factory.
well, that just sounds fucking wonderful.
Right next, it would eat away at a lot of cooter if you were putting that kind of work.
Dude, no.
I know how to do those 3 bolts.
Yeah,
If you have a problem with your hood, and you need that reattached, I got your back. I can
got
do
your
it.
back,
I
bro.
can do it. $60 a week.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? $60 a week.
what's your real name?
I don't put it out there
Why not?
because I don't want people tracking me down,
Oh.
leaving me weird notes in my
Sounds
mailbox
right.
and shit like that.
Yeah,
So
but they
should-
already know your real name. So if you said your real name,
Well,
what
the-
does it matter?
I don't want more people knowing
Why?
because a lot of
Is
these
it embarrassing?
no very basic name.
What is it?
It's not like Chad or
Sounds
anything like
right.
that.
Is it Adam?
No.
Sounds right.
Nobody ever wants to talk to me.
No. You're always struggling to talk to other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same.
I'm gonna end up interviewing you.
Go for it. Honestly, go for it. That'd be nice if somebody took the reins.
Yeah. It's weird when people ask me questions. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's a thing. It's weird.
it is. It is.
For how much I talk and bloviate on stage, it's weird when people talk to me.
Yeah, I know. But it's the same struggle. It's always like that. It's like you just, come on, just somebody listen. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I put all this time into it, and it's like, just give it a listen. Tune in. So it's like once a week, man. Once a week.
Dude, I've had that same struggle for the last decade of doing this. I'm like, all this work I put into this fucker, and 5 people are fucking watching this right now, and one of them's probably my wife.
Yeah.
So I'm like, geez, thanks, people.
Yeah. I hate that. I hate it, but I love it all at the same time. Like, it's one of those things where I wouldn't put all this time and effort into it if I
Right.
didn't like it, but it's hard to explain to my wife sometimes. It's like, she's like, oh, well, you do this all for fun, and it's just
Yeah.
your fun thing, and it's like, yeah, it is, but at the same time, it's a lot of work, dude.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of stress.
And
Something
then,
going out.
Yeah, I remember when I was doing my podcast, it's like I do all, I sit down there and edit, hours, getting all this rambling down to like an hour rather than 5. So
Right.
I'm editing for like 10 hours. And then like a month later, I'm like, dude, only 4 people downloaded this? This sucks. So I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck this. I'm going live.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a guy on that recently. He was doing his podcast live, and
Yeah.
then now he went to pre-recorded,
Recording it.
and then he will release it like a day or 2 later or
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh, it was so horrible sitting and editing podcasts all the time. I was like, yeah, no, fuck this. I'm sorry, guys. Because I had like my wife as a co-host. Kelly Tucker was my co-host.
Now, were you doing video and audio? Or
No,
just
this
audio?
was before, streaming was a big, video streaming and video editing was, to get a camera, I'm like, fuck, I can spend $3,000 on a halfway decent.
Right.
This was years and
Right.
years and years ago. And it was just, sitting in my kitchen table with a couple mics set up, and I just hit record. I'm like, all right, guys, let's go. I'll edit it.
Yeah.
I'll edit out all the dumb shit later.
Yeah. See, that's why I like mine. Like when I do mine, I don't edit shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not editing that. But when I first started this, it was basically I was recording on my phone,
Yeah.
and then I had my camera here.
Yeah.
So I would record both separately, and then I'd put them in,
You got to sync it together.
and then I would chop out when one person isn't talking
Yeah.
and the other person is. So I'd go through the whole video, stop, trim, delete that chunk, delete this. Oh,
Dude, it's like.
Before we started doing this,
Yeah.
like that was hell. Like I almost had to stop.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I can keep up.
I was just like, screw it. I'm not doing this podcast editing crap anymore. I'm just
That
do
was
it
just
live.
audio.
I'm just gonna do it live. I do video for my radio show and all that shit now. But
Yeah.
I was just like, well, if there's silence, it's just gonna be that awkward silence, and people can laugh at me. It'll just be that horrible thing, and it happens all the time. Like I'll be talking to some dude, and. Have you ever, you've been, this is what, your 27th one or something like that? 26, 27?
I think it'll be 27. Yeah.
Okay.
Damn,
so
you had that right on.
Have you had, well, I've been listening. I had to do something for the 3-hour ride out here. So I was just like listening, kind of like trying to gear up for what you're going to throw at me. And, it's, I don't know where the hell I was going with it, but I have no idea where I was going. This is what happens. I lose my train of thought.
Dude, I do that all the time.
Yeah,
But here's like, because I've done so many, something with your experience of doing so many podcasts or doing so many radio interviews or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So have you had anybody on here yet where it's like, man, this guy is the most boring person to talk to, and somehow I got to squeeze out 2.5, 3 hours of this dumb bullshit?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine
it's-
sitting down with somebody down here for like 2.5, 3 hours.
For me, I wouldn't say like you are the most boring fucking person, because I try to pick people that I kind of want to talk to, or else it would be very boring and nobody would want to listen.
Right.
But it was more or less like them like just not having any experience doing anything like this, and they don't know how to like talk.
It's like,
and then
use
it's like
words, you dumb shit.
Yeah, so it's like, or very short answers,
Yeah,
very
it's
short
the
replies.
worst. I don't know. It's going to happen to you one day where you're going to have somebody down here that you think is super cool, and then you're
Like
going to
today?
talk. I don't know about that. I know what this is. This is, you couldn't find anybody to come out for this one. You had an open week
I couldn't find anybody. So hey, I can take this guy all the way from the other side of the state, make him come over here,
drive 3 hours out here.
Hey.
But it's going to happen. You're going to be in about minute number 20, and you're going to be like, oh, this is going to be hell trying to get 2 hours out of this dumb fuck who can't fucking talk. It's like, bro, you're the fucking singer of a band. You should know how to talk.
Yes.
Horrible.
Then I'll just cut it short. I don't care.
I've done that on my, a couple weeks ago. I was talking to somebody from like Indiana, and I'm like, oh, a band I don't know them. It's a band from Indiana, a really cool sounding band.
Yeah.
And get them on the phone. And my interviews are usually like 35, 40 minutes. At about 5 minutes in, everybody in my chat is like, this is going to be the longest interview ever. I'm like, oh, what have you guys been doing during this coronavirus thing? Pretty much just hanging out. That's wonderful. Thanks a lot, Dip. And it's like,
Elaborate, please.
Everybody in
This
the
is a
chat's
radio
like,
interview.
this is where Rikki makes, this is what he gets paid to do, to kind of get this dumb shit to talk. And
you're on video and they're not, or
They're
were they
not.
on video?
No.
But you're on video.
I'm on video.
so they can see you visibly being like, okay.
yeah. And it's like,
I can't hide that in my face.
Yeah.
That's my face shows all my emotion.
and it's like I have a co-host. I'm like, Kev, you got anything?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I ran through all my questions in the first 10 minutes. I got nothing for this guy anymore. He's not, because, I'll ask something, and then if something cool, he says something cool, I'll kind of dive down that rabbit hole and try to get 10 minutes out of that. Nothing. So I'm like, I have nothing planned for after these interviews, and I got to make this thing go to 9. It's about 8:15. I got 45 minutes to fucking kill here. This guy is boring as shit. So,
But what would be really funny if you just said, all right, we're going to end this interview. You're boring as shit. And then you just hang it up. And you're just like, let's hang out for 45 minutes.
I kind of played it off as like, oh man, you're really good with these questions. You banged them out. Boom, boom, boom. I got nothing left for you. Because it's not like I know the guy and then hung out with them and talk about, remember that one time at Diesel where we got shit-faced?
Yeah.
I got nothing like that. And so it's like, yeah, well, this is going to be our shortest interview, but we're going to let you go. When you come out with some new music, call us back and we'll talk to you again. And I'm like, please don't ever call me again. Please don't,
So did you reach out to them or did they reach out to you?
It was one of those things where, because I get a lot of songs sent to me for the Rocks 100 thing. We got like over 700 songs going through that, the stream. And I have this segment on my show. It's called the Pump It or Dump It Band of the Week.
Yeah.
It could be a band from Leeds, United Kingdom or something like that sends me something. And I'm like, dude, how cool is that? Nobody from America would ever come across this band ever in life. So put it out there, put it on the social media. And if people seem to dig it, then I'll hit them up for an interview. This is how this case worked out with the dumb shit from Indiana. And a lot of people are like, oh man, this band's awesome, great guys. I'm like, oh, cool. This is going to be an awesome interview. It's kind of like a Nirvana, kind of grungy alt rock kind of band. And I'm like, dude, this is going to be super cool. All their videos are drinking beers and partying. I'm like, dude, this is going to be a great interview. I don't know if the guy was just, waking up or something like that, or he was like fucking high as like he's just like, and I'm like, well, this is going to suck.
It's terrible.
And it's the shows like that people are like, dude, that was fucking phenomenal that you actually made it through a decent interview without telling the guy he sucked 5 minutes in. So one day you'll have that guy and you have to sit in the same room as him too.
Yeah.
And be like, wow, you're going to have to look him in the eye knowing that he sucks and you want him out of your house.
It's like, can we just wrap this shit up?
Right.
I wish. Yeah.
Oh God.
But like, but for me, like, I don't have no set time limit. I don't have like, I gotta fill a 2-hour slot here. I don't have to.
Right.
Like I can eat. You just kind of wrap it up. You just say, well, why don't you just shout out your band?
Is my face turning red right now? Does my face turning red? I feel like my face is turning red. I feel hot.
Maybe a little bit. Are you hot?
Yeah, a little bit. Do you have like a fucking fire burning down there? Jesus. Oh, there we go. Because I'm like, man, I'm sweating.
Well, normally everybody's fucking cold, so
I'm one of those motherfuckers. I can't.
Well, you're also wearing a beanie inside because you don't want to show the balding.
No.
That's not very rock and roll.
Yeah, no. After I shaved my head, I'm like, this would be my, my lot in life. I'm gonna have to always wear something on my head, and I never had hair to begin with. I've always had a shitty hairline. And, I tried to grow the long hair and do the Donald Trump kind of flip over.
Oh,
and,
no.
The emo thing where it looks like they got a swirly. I tried all this dumb shit. And after a while, I'm like, when I had a hat on, I had wonderful hair. But once I took it off, it was like a damn skullet going on. And I'm like, screw this. I'm just going to shave it off. This would be my lot in life now. I'm always going to have to wear hats or something over my head.
So... You got the Rocks 100 going on right now, and you referenced earlier about how you tried doing podcasts and stuff. So what was your first fucking venture into like radio? I'm curious about that.
How long have you been, in the music scene? Because I want to know if you know anything that I'm talking about when I go back to my beginning.
Probably not. I probably won't. But I first played a show, and it was 2013.
Okay, so this was probably. Probably maybe around that time, there was a podcast, ironically enough, called The Olin Ezra Show.
Okay.
And he did kind of what I do. You know, he'd put on these live shows and he'd MC the thing and promote his podcast. You know, this is before, you know, streaming radio was, you know, a realistic thing to do. So everybody was like podcasting music shows. And, you know, I just happened to go, it was at the Hayloft, if you remember the Hayloft, out in Mount Clemson. It was a phenomenal venue. And was going to see some friends of mine, and I saw this dude, you know, emceeing and, you know, hyping people up for the bands and all that. And he's like, listen to the Old Ezra show, download it here, whatever it was.
Right.
And I'm like, that was my first like introduction to podcasts. I had no idea what the fuck they were. That's how long ago this was. And so I listened to it and I'm like, wow, this is like a radio show, you know, and they have like skits and all this stuff going on. They talk to bands. I'm like, dude, that's fucking sweet as shit.
Yeah.
You know, and I was in a band at the time. I'm like, dude, everybody's, you know, listening to this podcast. You know, he himself could easily bring 200 people out to a show just to come see him MC. So, you know, I kind of started hanging around with him and, you know, be like, hey, when can you get my band? You know, like every dumb shit kid.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like,
we'll play for free.
He's like, oh, well, send me an email, you know, the whole thing. Send me an email, I'll get back to you. Pretty much, fuck you, go away.
Yeah.
And one day he hits me up, you know, because I'm talking MySpace days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, MySpace.
Yeah. He's like, hey, bro.
He was immediately in your top 8.
Yeah. No, he was my number one because I was kissing up to him big time. I demoted Tom out of there. I'm like, yo, Tom, you're out. Olin was my number one.
Olin.
You know? So
rolling in.
So he hits me up. He's like, yo, my phone screener can't make it in today. You want to come into the studio? It's kind of something like you got here. You know, you have the man behind the curtain over there that does, you know, they do phone screenings and pretty much what he's doing over there. And he's like, come in and do that, you know, and, you know, anytime I'm missing a co-host or something like that or a phone screener, you know, if you want to come in, you know, that's great. So I did that a couple times. I was just a phone screener. People would be calling in and I don't know how that worked since it was a podcast.
So people would call in. So you were the guy that they would call in and you would ask them the question or whatever they're calling in about.
I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You know, they're just like answer the phones and wait for the engineer to, you know, plug it into the studio. So, you know, they didn't say, hey, find out what they want or anything like that. They're just like answer the phone, you know, keep them on the line until the producer plugs them into the studio.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm thinking this is maybe like a 1-2 minute thing where it's like, okay, got a call. All right, plug it in. Boom. There it goes. I was on the phone with some dude from like fucking Redford, Michigan, drunk as shit for probably about 20 minutes. And I'm like, I don't know what to talk to this dude about. And I'm like, you know, just rambling. And, you know, I guess I did a halfway decent job because, not too long after that, he stopped doing the podcast thing and started doing the streaming, you know, the live radio thing.
Right.
And he was like, yo, Rikki, I'm getting out of the local music game. I'm going into marijuana legalization and political thing. You know, he's like, I don't like doing the band shit anymore. That's more your thing. I don't even like bands. I'm a rapper, you know, but I kind of just got thrust into this. And so he's like, would you want to do a show? And I'm like, my own show? He's like, yeah, you talked to that drunk dude from Redford for 20 minutes. And if you can do that, you can talk to any of these dipshit bands. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm like, okay, throw me in, you know, and I had to come up with show segments and all this stuff and actually learn. I always wanted to do radio, but I never learned how to do it and how to program a radio show. So I had to, you know, I knew Screamin' Scott from Riff, Metro Detroit radio station. And I'm like, yo, dude, how do you do a talk radio show? And he's like, it's a lot of work. That's why I don't do it. I just say, hey, this is even flow at the top of the hour, and that's it, and just play music. It's tough. So he's like, just go, you know, listen to Howard. You know, I've always listened to Howard Stern. He's like,
Stern,
just listen to that and come up with your own bit, you know, your own thing. And I kind of did. You know, I was on Tap Detroit for probably about 2 years down in Detroit at the Russell Industrial Center. If you're into those kind of abandoned shit boxes.
Yeah.
It's kind of the Russell, you know, but people actually operate out of there. It's pretty much a shit box.
Yeah.
And that they converted into like little lofts, and it's
But it's still operating.
there's still people in there. You know, they grow pot and they do weird things. There was a dead person they found in one of the rooms one time.
Oh,
Anyway,
really?
Yeah.
That's like the worst thing I fear to come across. It's searching an abandoned place is like a dead person. Like,
well, I was listening to the interview that you did with what's his face, the last one, the comedian.
Carl?
I was listening to that, and you guys were talking about your urban exploration thing.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I'm like, has he ever come across like a vagrant, like a dude that's like, maybe there's a reason this guy's on the 5th floor of this abandoned building.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
no,
that-
we've never come across that. We've come across, well, the only real shit thing was we got fucking basically detained. We got caught. We got busted in one building, but it had power. So it was really fucking interesting.
It had power?
Yeah, it had power to the building. Yeah, no, the whole building, like it was abandoned. Like there was like the metal screening up on the windows and stuff where holes were broken into.
Yeah, but somebody's still paying the electric bill.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like the whole gymnasium was lit up and everything. It was really weird.
Wow.
And yeah, we got busted there, and I got it all on film.
Oh, cool.
I got the cop on film with he had his gun drawn and shit
Yeah.
because we're in Flint, so
Yeah.
I understand why he had his gun out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be one of those.
He had his gun and we were innocent. We weren't even armed.
Like I would
Yeah.
have my gun out in Flint searching an abandoned building.
Yeah.
Don't know who you're coming
In
across.
Flint, you have your gun drawn just walking down
the street. Yeah,
Walk down Dort Highway.
Yeah.
You're gonna
You
have,
have your-
you're
if
gonna
you
have
got
your
a
hand
piece.
on it. You're gonna have your hand on it.
Even if you just have a switchblade, like you
Yeah.
have it out.
You gotta know where that is because some shit's gonna probably go awry.
Try delivering packages down in there, bro. Like I did that before, and I'm like, fuck this, get me off this route.
Dude, it's scary. Like going into those abandoned. Like I ran into or I saw a homeless guy, and you've been to the Packard. I'm assuming
Yes,
you've done
yeah.
the Packard plant.
Me and my wife actually went there.
Okay, so back when I was younger, the cool thing for bands to do was get their band shots at
Photos,
the Packard.
yeah.
So we're like, okay, let's try to find a cool spot. So we were on the roof. We were just kind of trying to find cool little spots, and we find this big open, kind of pulling some boards aside, big opening, in the skyline behind it and all this.
Yeah.
We walk in there. And they're like, oh, ooh. My singer's like, we got to go back. I'm like, dude, why? I'm running in there. I'm like, what? This is like, Ricky, turn your ass around. There's like a fort over there, and they have like, there's like a little fire going over there. I'm like, they're like, dude, there's a guy over there, and I'm like, I'm blind as a bat. I can't fucking see anything because it's not cool doing band pictures with glasses. So I'm
Fuck
walking around.
no.
Yeah, so I'm at my glasses off, and I'm just like this, and the guy's like, older dude, and I'm like, what's that? I can't see anything. Guy hobbling over to me, and they're like, Ricky, run. And he's like, like Walking Dead zombie dude.
Like, are you on bath salts or?
He from what they told me, he wasn't looking like he was a guy who wanted to have an intelligent conversation.
No.
So after that, I'm like, yeah, no more of these abandoned buildings for photo shoots.
Yeah, no, they're the best though. Yeah, I've come across other people exploring it too, and most of the time it's just kind of been like, hey, like
Right.
we're not going to tell each other, go about your business,
Right.
But and then there was another time where we were in the hospital in Three Rivers, and we were on the top floor, and it was dark at this point. We went 2 places that day. And this was like literally right in the middle of a park.
Yeah.
Like it's like there's a park, it's active, people are around there. People are parking in like the old parking lot of this just abandoned hospital, just still standing. So it was like really sketch to like try to hop in this building. We didn't, I'm like, I don't know. There's somebody chilling in their car right there. I don't want somebody to call the cops.
Right.
Again, like
Right.
we hadn't been caught before at this point. And so we go in, it's at night, and the whole building's like kind of blown to shit.
Yeah.
But somebody said there was like a fallout shelter in there, so we were trying to find that in
shit.
the basement. We couldn't find it. So then we start going all the way up top, and like the railing's still there, this really old like railings. It's
Yeah.
like you could tell it's from when it was open.
Yeah.
Really cool. You see like a couple like hospital walkers, but everything else was blown
wow.
out.
Yeah.
Everything else was blown out. And I'm like, fuck, this ain't good footage. And we get
Yeah.
all the way up to the top, and he turns the corner, he just stops. And so I stop, and then all of a sudden you just hear this like, and he says, he turns around, he says, "Go." So we both just turn around and book
Yeah.
it, but there was nothing there.
Weird. Was it?
We have it on film. He's like filming the hallway, and you can hear something.
You think it was something like a I don't know, a raccoon or something like that was scurrying by?
I would like to think so, but you could hear it, like you could hear it far away.
Yeah.
Get closer, and then it's really loud, like not like really loud where it's but it's like
Yeah.
like, and then that's when
Wow.
he's like, turn around.
So you think
go.
it was
I
a?
don't know, maybe a ghost can go. Do you
Well,
believe it?
that hospital is known to be haunted.
It is. I didn't know that prior to going in, though.
Have you done Eloise yet?
No, we haven't. But I'm thinking about paying for the fucking thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. I see a lot of these abandoned things, and they're trying.
I want to do it on an off season though, when not a lot of people are going to go.
Well, doesn't it kind of take away from it when it's something? Hey, pay for admission, and you can do your
No,
quote
we did
unquote
it.
urban exploring.
Me and my wife, there's a Felt Mansion here
Yeah.
in Holland, and it's supposedly haunted. And the lady that owns it does it, and she has everybody come in. You pay a fee, and you get to come in with a bunch of other people, and you can have rains to the whole house, and the carriage house in the back. You can go there, you can sit there, you can do whatever you want for however long.
Oh, okay.
But it takes away from it when you have
Yeah.
all these other people, and you can't get evidence.
I figure, it's like, I figured it'd be a lot more organic and real if it was just like, hey, we're kind of, breaking the law and there's nobody else here.
Yeah,
this is just
that's-
kind of us. Right? And be like, okay, single file, this is where this is.
That's just your own, like, just the anxiety or what stuff, the nervousness of, oh, we could get caught.
Yeah.
That's what builds that up. But
yeah.
like they were doing it this past year, where you could have, it was $1,000, but you could have up to 10 people. So it'd be
Okay.
$100 a person.
All
So you
right.
got 10 people, $100 a person, 10 people that want to do it.
Yeah.
That's worth it to me.
They really got to want to do it for $100.
For $100, but for $100 for a place that's like well known to supposedly be haunted
Yeah.
Don't you
You
get
know?
it all night too?
all night. Yeah, all night.
So is it just those 10 people or is there
Yeah.
other groups of 10
No,
people?
they leave. No, it's just you.
Okay, so it's just one group of 10 people.
So
per
do you
night or
believe in that
whatever.
stuff? Do you believe in like paranormal stuff?
Like kind of. I believe in the afterlife. I believe in all that because I've died twice. There's some truth for it.
what the fuck do you know?
Yeah, I've died twice. Wow. I love the drop. Wow, this is like live radio.
It is like live radio.
Wow. Yeah, no, I died.
You died?
Yeah, twice. Same day. Twice on the same day.
In the same day.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so,
I need to break out some weed for this.
Oh, you want that story?
Oh yes.
Usually when I tell people, it's kind of like, Jesus Christ. I feel like I
This is
should
a
wait for
long
the drop.
intro.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
a long intro.
do you have like a segment that you put here or something like this?
No,
Or-
that just whenever I want to.
Oh.
Rich is in. Me and Rich are in tight communication.
You got like a foot switch somewhere?
No.
Now's the time for that weird trance drop. Yeah.
So you're
no.
gonna give us your story on what?
You want the dying story?
Do you have a paranormal story?
Well, that kind of ties into that.
Okay,
So-
then let's do that story.
Okay. So
All right, hit me, Rich.
this was probably, I can't remember, probably 10, 12, 13-ish years ago. Wow, those drops just keep coming. So is there going to be a guy talking on this one? Because when the guy was doing that, oh, don't make some noise, that it kind of threw me off. I'm sitting here talking, and then there's, make some noise, So
I love doing
like fucking X-Files. So, I was really, really hardcore into drugs for probably about a good year. And typical Rikki, lazy ass, I had a big old 8-ball of cocaine in my house, and I had nothing to fucking do. So I'm on MySpace, chop that motherfucker up. All on
Whole
my desk.
8-ball.
Yeah. And I downed it in about 10, 15 minutes. And usually, that's your...
Holy
that's
fuck!
a
I would be
lot.
like, "Wow, that's a lot."
Yeah, I was just, having fun with it, making like swirly lines on my desk of it. And then,
Jesus,
so it's
dude.
like I'd knock out some of it, go look at something online, be like, okay, knock out some more. So
Holy shit.
I ended up being up for about 2 days straight, and I was like at the top of my steps. I was just walking around my house for like legit 48 hours. My wife went to work twice. This whole time she's like, "You're still up?" I'm like, "I'm just walking."
All right, Rich, cut this music. This is too funny.
So
Bring it back in when it gets paranormal.
okay. So anyway, after about hour 40 of this, just walking around, So about
I
hour.
remember those nights though, where you're just so high on coke and you're just like, nope.
Yeah, it's
No
like
amount of weed's gonna bring me down.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. I'm like calling my dad. I'm like, dude, I don't know what to do. It won't go away. He's like, do a couple shots of whiskey, and that'll calm you down. I
You
guess
drink like a fish when you're on coke. At least I did.
I don't remember half of it. My wife's like, yeah, I went to
Well,
work.
I never did that much at one time.
She's like, yeah, you were walking around the house, and then I had to go to work in the morning. I came back. You were still walking around the house. I went to bed, woke up the next morning. You were still walking around the house. When I came home, you were starting to slow down, but you're still walking around the house. And so anyway, about hour 40, this epic trip of walking up and down my stairs, the heart stops. I collapse. Top of my stairs. I kind of fell down the stairs a little bit.
Ooh.
And you see I saw, just like it really picture a really foggy day. You're on like a picture a football field. Okay. Dense fog. You can't see more than 10 feet
yards.
in front of you.
Okay.
Something like that. Like super dense fog. And picture you're in one end zone. At the very other end zone, you see a shadowy figure of a wall.
Well, I wouldn't see that because I can see only like 10 yards in front of me.
Well, but it's like it's not clear, but it's kind of like fate. You can see something
like some ominous,
yeah,
like
an
ominous
ominous
shape.
Yeah,
Okay.
out there, and then walls going out until you can't see the ends of the walls, and there's I guess a gate, and then
That's what you seen, like
Yeah.
a gate.
It wasn't like the pearly gate. It was like almost like a horror story gate.
Yeah.
It was dark and, kind of like shadowy little, something moving, walking back and going back and forth in front of the gate. They were just like
Quick like that or like slow?
like walking speed.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Like just pacing in front of the gate.
Just like, you'd have a bunch going this way off into nothing, bunch going that way into nothing. Yeah, until you can't see them anymore because they're so far gone.
Okay.
And then, I assumed that was, maybe the spirits or whatever it was that haven't gotten into heaven yet, and they're dead, but they're kind of in that weird
purgatory stage.
Kind of purgatory stage, where they can't get in. But I'm still like 90 yards away. And I remember feeling it's not my time to go yet. It wasn't something anything was said to me or anything like that. It was just kind of like a unconscious kind of like almost like a memory of somebody saying, when you think of a memory, it's kind of just that kind of vibe.
Isn't that weird?
Not time to go.
Yes.
So then I kind of pop out of it. I'm back at the bottom of my stairs, and my heart's still like this. I get up, start walking around. My wife said I was down for probably about 5 minutes. She was about to call the ambulance because she couldn't get a pulse out of me, and I wasn't moving. She's like, I was
for the
kicking
first
you.
3 minutes, she was bitching at you.
Probably. So she's like, you weren't moving. I was kind of kicking you and smacking you, and then you kind of just came to. You'd have like a pulse for like a half. You'd start beating for a little bit, then it would stop.
Right.
And so I got up. You watch the movie The Dirt, the Motley Crue movie?
No, I haven't watched
when they
that.
jab the adrenaline into Nikki Sixx, and he just kind of like,
Oh yeah, those.
like that.
Yeah, what are those things called?
The adrenaline
shot.
right into the heart kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was the kind of thing. Like I woke up and I'm like, stood up, and I was still boom, 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 and walked around for a little bit more. again, top of the steps, freaking collapsed again. Same thing happened again, but this time I heard my dad because he had died in a car accident about a little before that, and he's like, "It's not your time yet.
It's not your time.
It's not your time
Not your
yet.
time to go."
And it was kind of like, "It's not your time.
It's not your
Straighten
time.
your shit up.
Straighten
kinda
your
thing.
shit up. And
And so then I wake up out of this thing, and for probably about the next year or two, I had the most debilitating anxiety. Anytime I came around any kind of substances, like I couldn't drink without having debilitating panic attacks. I couldn't have a
Really?
cigarette without having debilitating panic attacks. And I think that was like my dad's way of saying, straighten your shit up, clean yourself up, and get right.
Yeah, so
get
like
all-
you came back
get
and
rid
then
of
you
your-
had all these signs of like, this is what I have to do.
Yeah, and for about 2 or 3 years, every night I would have a dream about my dad. He would be in there, like lessons kind of shit. Hey, you have a wife, man up, go to work, do what you need to do, clean up, kind of thing.
Right.
And then the last time, and this was like every night. The last dream I ever had with my dad in it was, okay, you're all right, I'm going. I'm going to be gone. And I have not had a dream with my dad in it since. So I think that might have been
Wow.
my dad in that purgatory area, and he had to fix his dipshit son. And once that was figured out, he could go, peacefully go to wherever the hell he was going.
That's
So-
kind of like his unfinished business.
yeah.
Like he
So
needed-
in that respect, it's like, yeah, I believe in all that. I've always been the kind of what do they call the people who, don't believe in religion unless they have proof of it.
agnostic,
I think that might be it. I was
Or
kind of
is
like one of those.
another
It's
A?
like
atheist.
maybe whatever it was. I was just kind of that. I'm like, well, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm not saying I don't. I just like to see something. That's how I always was. I'm like, if you believe it, that's fine. I'm kind of
Yeah, but then
neither.
it's still like you can. But so like you believe it now.
Yeah, because I think that was my proof that I needed.
But you still got to pick what subgenre of metal you want as far as for cat religion.
Yeah, that's another weird thing. Talk about music. I've never been a huge metal fan. I've never really.
I am not as big of a metal fan as you might think, or playing in metal bands. I much prefer.
Slipknot, Metallica, Slayer, Pink Floyd,
Yeah.
Lamb of God. Nah, you're not into metal at all.
No, I like metal, but like I don't that's what I listen to. Like I don't branch out enough because where I've been going more is like, fuck, my whole playlist like still. I mentioned this a couple podcasts ago. It's
Yeah.
still like pop remixes.
Dude, the thing with metal,
But I love metal, and I,
I
love
can't-
all the metal dudes. And
I
like,
can't sit and listen to it like on
No,
my
not
phone.
anymore.
I can't listen. It does nothing for me to sit on Spotify and listen to it. I enjoy going to see it and listen to it in a live environment.
Yes.
That's but I don't go home and listen to Godflesh or anything like that on
No.
Spotify.
No.
I'm listening to like Celine Dion or something like that. I have
No, I'm
taste
not
and
going to Celine Dion.
I have
Sorry,
I
but-
have music. I like tons of shit. Or I'll listen to like Ted Nugent, or I'll listen to Boston, or I'll listen to
Yeah,
Motley
yeah.
Crue, or Metallica's on pretty much the hardest side of stuff I'll sit on Spotify and listen to. But I go to a lot more metal shows than I do rock shows because the energy is just crazy at a live show.
Yes.
So it's like, yeah, I can't sit down and listen to it,
See,
but I love hanging out at metal shows.
like if you're in a for me to go to like a rap show or like a pop show, like I think I'd almost rather go. Well, either way, whatever show it is, they gotta like put on way more of a fucking entertainment performance,
Right.
for me to want to go to where
You don't want to see
I can
Garth Brooks sitting on a stool?
No,
playing his acoustic guitar?
So boring.
No, well,
It's
I
so boring.
fucking
Bueno.
hate. I'm not good with country. Really,
No
that
bueno
much.
on that one.
No, but as far as like those two genres though, like I can go see my favorite metal band all on stage just fucking jamming out and
Yeah.
have a great time. As long a little bit of pyro, a little bit of lights.
Yeah.
But like to see a pop artist or art rap,
gotta have, like,
you
a
gotta have
killer
a
show.
show with
Yeah.
it. You gotta have the whole entourage. You gotta have everything.
You got to have the dancers. You got to have the angel flying through the air.
yeah,
you know.
like the show behind you.
Yeah.
like, you know.
Well, it's like
I
metal.
don't
You know,
know.
there's just so much energy
I'm
going
not gonna watch
on.
Bruno Mars just singing on stage.
Yeah, no, I won't listen to Bruno Mars even if he has a good
Or
show.
The
Yeah.
Weeknd, or like I'm not just gonna watch him sitting on stage.
Yeah,
or,
see,
like,
that's like all these new, like The Weeknd. I literally just heard of The Weeknd because he played
the
the
Super Bowl.
That was the first time I've ever heard of
You
it.
didn't hear the song that he put out though. That was like all over the "I Can't Feel My Face"
I don't
or
listen-
whatever
I don't
it's
listen
called.
To the, I
Is
don't
that what it's
listen-
called?
I don't listen to the radio, and when I do, it's like the classic rock stations.
Well, I guess
I
that
don't
was
listen
during
to-
my time when I was in a work van, so the radio would be on. So
Yeah.
I would, not always have choice of what was on radio, and that was always on.
Yeah, no, I never listened to like radio. The last time I really listened,
I don't really
to,
listen to radio either. But
whenever I'd go out on,
here we are, fucking recording shit
know.
that could be radio.
I know, yeah. I do
I don't
radio,
listen
but I
to
don't
this
listen
shit.
to it. Yeah, no, like I can't even listen to
no,
my own
I
damn show.
I do listen to podcasts though.
That's I don't have an attention span long enough to listen to it.
Well,
the only
does
reason
your
I
job allow you to have headphones?
yeah, it's
What the fuck's your excuse?
because I can't pay attention to it. I'd listen for
Is
about
your
20
job too complicated?
No,
too
I'd get
no?
just too bored after about 20 minutes of somebody talking about whatever it is that how
Not
they're
if it's
talking about.
if you're something you're interested in.
Yeah, no,
No, you can't?
like if I go download, like the only I could listen to yours because I was literally stuck in a car for 3 hours, which is about as long as your
But you're
shows are.
stuck at work for 8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just listen to music or something like that, or
yeah, I mean, I do have days where I listen to music, too,
but like podcasts, it's like after my job's so boring, I can fall asleep doing it.
Dude.
If I hear somebody on a podcast for 3 hours talking about,
I guess if it's that fucking boring, but I'm
I literally
up on my
screw in,
feet.
I
all
literally
day,
screw in 3 bolts on a car.
dude.
That's it,
And you probably get paid way more than I.
and I do that about 300 times a day, over and over and over.
I believe
and
that 300
over
times
and
a
over
day because you
and
probably
over.
counted.
Yeah, well, there's a big counter right above me that shows how many cars
Really?
have gone through. Yeah,
Oh.
so it's right
so
next to the
that's
clock.
that's about 900 bolts,
Yeah,
right? So 300 cars, 900 bolts.
Yeah.
And is it automatic? Like, are you like having to wrench this bolt on, or you got
no,
an
they're
auto?
yeah. It's
Oh man,
so it's torque checked and all that. So you just hit the button
torque
until it
just
stops,
fucking, and then it goes on.
and then you wait for about 45 seconds for the next
How
car to
the
roll through.
Now, do you realize how dumb that sounds?
No, I know it's very dumb.
It's like, well, why? Why is it set up like that? What does the next guy do? Does he do 3 more bolts?
There's a guy across from me that does 3 bolts. The guy before me.
Why
the
can't
hell
you
is he
just
doing?
do the fucking bolts? You go voot, voot, go to the other side. Voot, voot, voot,
Well,
go to the other side, voot, voot, voot.
technically, that's one of those UAW rules. You're not allowed to cross the line.
Okay, well you did. Okay,
You're not
what
allowed
does
to
the
go
next
across the
guy on your line side of the line do?
I'm the last guy.
You're the
before it goes
last
to-
guy?
before it goes to paint shop.
Hey.
Yeah, I put the hood on.
You get to send it off. It's
Yeah.
like, hey,
It-
you see the whole baby all put together
yeah,
right before it's paint,
right before it goes to paint, and there's actually shit inside of it. But yeah, I'm the last
so
guy.
you get to see the frame.
Yeah,
Yeah, no headlights.
no, nothing. It's
You're
all
like,
just metal.
You're like, this is what it looks like.
It's all just metal.
Just fucking metal. The last guy on the line. So what does the guy do before you? 3 bolts?
He puts the no. He actually just puts the deck lid or the lift gate on.
The
And
lift
he-
gate.
If
Is it
you have like a
trucks?
hatchback,
Okay.
a hatchback car, the actual hatchback part, he puts that on. And then the
Oh,
guy
okay.
across from him does the 2 bolts to secure it in.
Okay.
So he just
He just
put-
places it
he just
in.
places it on.
So they'll have arguments if he places it wrong. Like, you fucking jackass.
Yeah.
You fucking placed it wrong.
Yeah, so even if I don't have headphones on, that's what I have to listen to all day. Hey, buddy, you put the deck lid on wrong or
You
the lift
fucking-
gate on wrong. Oh, Jesus.
You're supposed to put it on right so I don't have to pay attention.
back to the headphones, so I
like,
don't talk to anybody at work.
It's like if you would just pay attention, you could have just shifted it and then put your bolt in.
Yeah, that's not in the job description. They ain't doing that.
See, that's when I like unions and all that kinds of shit. That's the shit I fucking hate about it. It creates those fucking people. When It's like, that ain't my fucking job. I ain't touching it.
Yeah, that's union life for you, man.
But why, man? Why? It's just like, dude, you could just shift it. Like,
Well,
it
the
could have
thing
been
is-
1 out of 100 cars
Here-
came through today
here's
that
the-
that happened to.
here's the argument.
And you're going to
about-
say it's not my job.
Here's the argument
Fuck
about
you.
people doing things that aren't on their job. If you can do it, if you're doing somebody else's job, obviously you have enough time to do it, and obviously we don't need that guy to do it. We can just have you do it. So it's job
So then
elimination.
you lose.
lose jobs.
No, yeah, I guess, but you lose your cake job.
Yeah,
That's
can't
what
lose
it
the
comes
cake.
down to.
Yeah, of course. That's that's the.
It's not that
pretty
you
much-
can't do it.
Yeah, no.
It's like now I get to lose this.
Yeah,
where I
there's
sit here
always-
and put 2 bolts in.
Yeah, there's always some
He's
dude.
1 bolt less than you.
Yeah, there's one dude that always sits there and watches all the jobs to see what job he can get rid of.
Oh, that's
So it's
all he
like-
does.
Yeah,
He does.
they're called industrial engineers.
Oh, right. Yes, those fucks.
Yeah.
They come down there and disrupt your line for some bullshit ass they want to
They
try.
will watch. Yeah,
And then everybody is like, fuck it, we go sit in the break room.
yeah.
I
I just tell them to fuck off. I'm like, get the fuck out of my way.
don't go to my line.
Yeah, you're in my footprint. Go away. Disappear.
You have footprints.
Yeah.
That's where you have to stand.
Yeah.
How far can you go away from your footprint?
Technically, we're not. I love how we're talking about work, but yeah, no.
It's interesting to
we-
me. I've
we-
never worked there.
We don't go outside our footprint. Like
You
we
don't.
could. We could. To get
So
our
your
job.
feet are on your footprint on the floor all day.
Yeah.
You don't move.
I have about 30 feet.
You don't
of,
shift your foot from that footprint.
No, I mean you have a length of the line where you have to get your job done in between, like
Okay.
2 points.
Like you
It's
can't
about-
go beyond that though.
You can, but you don't
Right.
because your job technically.
But if you
doesn't-
suck, you're probably going past that line. Like, oh,
yeah, then the line
because the
stops.
line just keeps going.
no, it'll stop. It'll automatically. If you don't hit your torques, it'll stop.
Oh, really? It will.
Automatically, yeah.
Oh.
Like if I only torque one of those bolts in, the line will stop until I torque that second one.
Really? How does it tell?
Because it's a big machine. It's like, oh, we only registered 1 torque in this time, so
So is
until
there
you
like
get that second torque, the line will stop.
Computerized shit going
Yeah,
on there
it's
the
all
whole time?
computerized,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love how we're talking about working at the auto company.
Dude, I don't know.
I
It's
thought
interesting to me.
I thought this was gonna be rock and roll and
Dude.
sex, drugs. Now I'm just talking about what I got to do on Monday.
Yeah, well, how many people have fucking worked there that fucking don't know what that's like? That's a lot of people.
Kyle's easily fascinated.
I am.
Obviously, I tell my wife about this. She's like, I don't want to hear about your fucking job.
I do.
And Kyle's like, oh man, I want to hear about you screwing those 2 bolts in,
Yeah.
3 bolts in all day,
Yeah.
300 times.
300 times.
It's horrible. It's horrible. It sucks. It's the worst job ever. And if I didn't have, if I wasn't married and had a kid and another one on the way, I would have left that job years ago. But I have
Really?
but I have a pension. So
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of benefits that come with it.
yeah, I get to retire in about 13 more years.
13 years.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. So
So
Good.
how old are you going to be when you get to retire? Are you
I'll
going to be
be-
under the retirement age?
I'm going to be just over. Technically, when I can retire, I think I'm going to be 51, 52.
That's still young.
Yeah, with
That's
with my
young.
full pension.
Yeah, dude.
So, yeah.
That's young as hell.
Yeah. So I'm
You
going
get to fucking retire.
Yeah, I'm gonna retire, move out of this.
I'm gonna be
shit box
fucking.
and-
I'm gonna be working until I'm probably 70 by the time I get there.
yeah, no.
Retirement age
that's,
is gonna keep going up for Social Security because there won't be any.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about my pension. Like, I get my full pension, and then when Social Security kicks in, I'll get that, and then my pension will go down a little bit, and I'll get my Social Security on top. Of
Right.
that. So I'm done and out in 51,
I
52
mean, I'm
years
doing
old.
a fucking retirement plan. I'm not putting very much in right now.
I have one of those
but-
too. I just put money in it so I can take loans out and buy nice, fancy, sparkly
Why don't
things.
you just use a savings account? Because it's too easily accessible.
Yeah, no, that's spent at the bars, man.
The savings.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just toss money in there for the bars, like specifically.
That's
like, this is
where
gonna
all
be bar
that's
money.
my pay. After I pay the mortgage and pay my phone bill and pay all that crap, I'm like, all right, this is fun money. Let's go do what Ricky do.
Well, fuck yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so
Everybody's got a budget. I got a fucking whole budget plan.
I don't. That's the problem. I
no,
don't have a
you
budget.
need a fucking big
yeah,
budget.
no, I don't have. I put money into my retirement account and all that, and I'm like, well, fuck the rest of it. I talk on my
Yeah.
show a lot. Because I do my show on Sundays. So if I'm out like on a Saturday, I'm a bucket of yuck come Sunday, and I have to do my show. I'll be sitting there like, all right, Kev, you're gonna have to carry this one because I got nothing today. And they're like, oh, what did Ricky do? I'm like, well, first I went to Diesel and spent $300 there, and I bought
Oh,
a T-shirt, and a
shit.
CD, and every band that plays all their merch.
Yeah.
One of everything because I got a nice paycheck this week.
Yeah, this guy that screws 3 fucking bolts in.
I know. I feel so bad for people that actually have to work and get paid like $15 an hour.
Yeah.
I feel so bad because I'm like, what I do, I really should be getting paid minimum wage. I really
That
should
was
be.
my point of that.
I really should be. That's the power of unions.
And that's what I meant. Like
The power of collective
it
bargaining.
creates our big argument for me is it creates lazy workers. It just creates like you're just lazy now. You're not going to do any of that. And,
Well, do
and
you think
part
it would
of it-
solve the
and part
problem
of
if
it is-
everybody else just unionized?
Yeah.
That's the big thing the union tells us.
Well, that's why I said I'm not down talk. I am down talking, but I'm not like saying I don't like fuck them, get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it just does create that. But there is a lot of things coming, like you said. Well, if you start doing this, and they see, oh, we can eliminate that job, and now you're going to do this all the time. And
Well,
it's
think
like,
about this
now I
way.
lose my cake
What-
job, and I want a cake job.
What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living?
Custodian?
Okay, I'm assuming you're not unionized.
No, I work at a factory.
So, let's say you and all the other custodians at the said factory
Three of us.
Okay. Maybe not unionized that, but
No, it'd
you
be
know,
all the employees because I would be included in the union. I work
Okay.
for a factory. I get
Okay.
paid by the factory.
So if you got in on that union, and were able to unionize and really harness that power of collective bargaining, be like, all right, either you're going to pay us this, or we're all walking out,
Right.
And you will have nobody here to clean shitty toilets or whatever
Yes.
you're cleaning up,
Or
And-
do their other work. Cause,
yeah.
you know.
And the thing with that, there's only 3 of you, so it's not like it's gonna kill them if they have to be like, well, okay, walk off. We'll find 3 more people tomorrow. If
Right.
it was something like you had 2,000 of you guys,
No, we would have
walking
had to
around.
have done that last April when Corona was really hitting, being like, no, you're paying us this or we're
Right.
walking.
So that if there were like
Now we got nobody to clean our shit.
if there were like a big crew of you guys, be like, look, either you're going to pay us this or all 20, 30 of us are going to walk off the job. It's
Yeah.
going to take you a couple weeks to find new people to
You're
do
gonna
this.
lose all of that
and
work.
you are going to have a lot of poop pile up
Yes.
in the couple weeks because
Yes.
I know factory workers, they don't know how to use toilets.
No.
So it's like,
No, they don't.
harnessing that collective bargaining, be like, well, I don't want shitty toilets and all whatever diseases that goes out. So, okay, we'll just give you what you want. Just
Right.
keep working.
Yeah.
So I think everybody should unionize.
Oh yeah, it would. But like I was saying, I'm in my case, I don't even think I would need just the janitors. It would just be the factory. If all the employees, you start handing out the little cards or whatever. That's what my dad always says. That's what happened at his work. They handed out all these like blue cards or something to everybody from this union.
Yeah.
And then they all kind of like got together and said, are we going to do this or not?
Yeah.
So like, just like you're saying.
Yeah.
So if that happened, I would just be included in that. I'd be like, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I wanna get
because
paid more.
when you're in a union, then you have it has to be
I mean,
written
we have
down
good
what your
benefits
job is.
though.
You can just
But-
imagine how much better it would be if you all got together and be like, hey, I know our benefits are good, but they can be better. You might be able to slide us a little bit of a pension.
Well,
you
it
can
takes me-
upgrade our dental a little bit.
It takes me 10 years to get to the all of it paid, but eventually it's get 6 weeks of vacation paid.
Shit, you got a better thing than I do.
And then my health insurance.
I get 2 weeks of vacation a year.
That's it.
And I've been there for
God, you guys
17
got a
years.
fucking bargain better. You're trying to tell me.
But I do
So
get paid.
I started out
$30
with
an hour.
fucking 2 weeks of vacation.
Yeah, no, I got 2.
So you get, and then I got 4 weeks of unpaid, but you have to take it a week at a time. And then eventually,
get that.
every year, two more days becomes paid. So after 10 years, do the math,
Yeah.
it's all paid. And then my health insurance is for the high deductible plan. So this is the highest one, the high, all the, you got to pay a lot of shit.
Yeah.
But it's $1.44, and then I got to pay $30 because I smoke, and that's every 2 weeks.
I don't have a deductible.
Right. So you got a fucking awesome ass health plan.
Yeah, even when I was smoking 2 packs a day, they didn't give 2 shits.
Really?
Yeah. and
Yeah. See, I got to fucking pay
because when I started there, we used to smoke on the line inside.
Right,
And then they
yeah.
got rid of that whole smoking.
They said
inside
the
thing.
boss at my work used to walk around with a cigar and shit. I was like, man, I wish I worked here back
Yeah,
then,
dude,
bro. It'd
I'd-
be so lax.
I'm
Like,
surprised.
ah.
I'm surprised the place didn't burn down because when I when I was smoking on the line, I was working where they put the actual seats in. So we're screwing these seats, and I have a fucking cigarette hanging out of my mouth. Some ash gets on the seat, just kind of brush it out. I'm like, I'm surprised nobody burned a car.
Yeah, no
Or
shit.
totally torched a seat.
Yeah.
Everybody just had cigarettes hanging out, out of their mouth, and just cigarettes all over the floor. And they got rid of that no smoking inside thing. And that was the end of the world.
Dude, yeah.
Oh,
My
yeah.
grandpa used to work at the GM plant in Bay City.
Yeah.
And they would just fucking, every day, he would go across the street to the bar and get like drunk.
Yeah.
Have
It's
lunch, go back.
It's bonkers.
You meet your quota. It was
Yeah.
like those quotas thing. You meet
Yeah.
your quota for the day. You could sit there, read the newspaper for the rest of the fucking day. I'm like, what the
You know how bonkers, I this is a new word I use, bonkers, but
That's where you need to start incentivizing bonuses more.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Oh, yeah, we get nice
like
bonuses.
you can get
wonderful bonuses.
Yeah, see, we get it quarterly, but it's all based on, whatever. Mine's a percentage because I don't make the company money.
Yeah.
All I do is spend.
Yeah.
So mine's part of like the corporate budget. So I get an average of what everybody is. So one section like metals can have like an awesome ass quarter and they're gonna get a huge bonus, and the other ones suck. I get an average of it.
Why don't you get one of those?
But it's still the first
metalworkers
place
jobs?
that I work. I don't want to fucking sit out there and do that kind of work, bro.
Was it too hard?
I don't. It's monotonous to me. See, my job, I'm all throughout the building. I go and clean another building. Like I'm doing like different stuff. I'm cleaning a break room, and I go down to the other side, clean that bathroom. I go into the offices. I have to be like moving around. I've always hated factory work or sitting on a line.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it.
Well, I don't think
know how
that's
you guys can do it.
I don't think that's a job anybody
And-
sets out in life to do. Be like,
and
hey, I want to be a dipshit and just sit on the line all day.
But most of those fucking jobs, unless maybe if you're in union and shit, but like places like my work, you're fucking working overtime all the time. You're working every fucking Saturday. And it's like, I don't know. I want my weekends.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I make domestic cars, so there's zero overtime. Everybody's
So if
buying
there's
those nice
no,
foreign joints.
so you got a great setup.
No
but if
overtime.
everybody decided to buy those cars, you'd be like, fuck.
Nah, they're American cars.
You
Ain't
know?
nobody buying that shit anymore. Everybody wants that new Hyundai Elantra.
Hey, give me that Elantra.
They want fucking go-karts now.
Yes. I love it. No.
Yeah, and I make electric cars on top of that. So
See,
That's no
that
fun.
was always a drawback to me too, because I mean I had a decent like factory job when I went to Hayworth here in Holland, and I did different shit. It was all real easy, like a drill press for a little while. Then I'd go spot weld, and then I'd go to the breakout table. We had to break out all these parts from the big old laser thing that went around and cut them out. Right. So that was a decent gig, but you were still fucked, and you had whatever they had going. Like if you're working 10 hours every day and then working fucking 10 hours on Saturdays, what you had to do.
Oh,
like,
dude.
I just hated being like,
I used to work in a the nastiest.
I'm sick of this.
The nastiest place to work in the auto industry is the transmission plant.
It just sounds
It's
nasty.
horrible. Like I worked at one down at Willow Run. That's down at Ypsi, Southern Michigan. For all you kids out there who don't know the mitten,
Ipsy.
it's
Ypsilanti.
the plant was built inside a World War II airplane factory.
Well, that just sounds fucking wonderful.
Right next, so you can imagine when August comes around, they didn't upgrade this thing with AC or anything fancy like that. It's 5,000 degrees, and you're running these grinding machines, spraying lubricant everywhere. So you're just covered in, grease and lubricant and
Yes.
and metal
Just-
shards all over your face. Like I'd come home and pick that crap out of my beard for like an hour. Just all these little metal shards, and you're just covered in this,
Just
thick
goo,
grease.
just grease.
It's not,
It's like-
it's not like black grease. It's just like
Grease.
greasy.
Filmy.
And they tell you when I had to buy like slip resistant boots and all this crap. You
Yeah,
know,
'cause it's so fucking
Those
greasy.
heavy duty like Carhartts or whatever they are that
Yeah,
cost like
ooh,
$200. You know,
Them Carhartts.
Yeah, like redneck boots.
Yeah, $200.
Yeah,
Look at these
super
suckers.
expensive, and they usually last you like forever.
Yeah.
I worked there for 6 months. I went through 3 pair of those.
Holy fuck.
Because there was just puddles of lubricant on the ground
Jesus.
that you just
Lubricant.
be going, and it would just eat away at your boots. And they're just like, yeah, before you get
This
in your
isn't
car,
kind of the lubricant you want in the bedroom. Because it just eats away at your boots.
It would eat away at a lot of cooter if you were putting that kind of lubricant on, man. Just imagine that.
Scooter.
Just imagine that riding decaying mess after.
Oh man. Both of you.
Hey, baby, look what I brought home.
Look at it.
A big old vat of
You got a cup. You have like from the break room. You got this cup.
just scoop it up.
Just
There's metal shards in there. Be like, don't worry, baby, just slop it on.
Just
we'll see what
slap it
happens.
on. We'll see what happens.
Just slap it on. The metal's there for your pleasure, babe. I swear.
Last week you wanted me to slap you, so I figured.
I figured metal shards in your coot would be right up your alley.
Who said it was going to be the coot? Whoa.
You said, wow. You said you liked metal, babe. You're not the woman I married.
No.
So yeah,
That's
horrible.
metal. That is-
Horrible job. So yeah. What else you got for me, Kyle? We're on a roll.
Well, we are on a roll.
How far are we into this? Please tell me we're more than like a half hour in.
Yeah, where are we at, Rich?
57 minutes.
57 minutes?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I already got to pee.
You gotta pee?
Yeah, I'm going to fucking pee.
So what
You
the
gotta
hell do
pee?
I do while you're
You talk
peeing?
to Rich.
Okay. Hey, man over there I can't see. Give me something. What do you got, Rich?
Nothing.
Yeah, this is great. Hopefully Kyle's a quick pisser. This is why I enjoy doing radio, because I can be like, yo, dog, I got to piss bad. So I'm going to play a couple songs, and then I'll come back fully emptied. So now I'm like literally sitting here like talking to the Wizard of Oz, and this is like the worst.
Yeah. we can't play music, unfortunately.
Yeah, I technically can't either. It all gets edited out afterwards. So there's big blank spots in there, but
Right.
you can't even play like those weird like trancey X-Files drops.
Oh, like ours?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Fill some time. Tell us about your extra paranormal experience.
I don't really have any. Only time I really had anything, I talked about it on one of the other podcasts, I think. I was at my
This
cousins.
is great.
I was at my cousin's, and we were maybe 8 or 9. We were maybe teenagers, and all of our parents went out to go drinking, and we were just sitting at the house watching scary movies all night. And we decided to go to bed, and the back door opened, and we heard a noise. Well, we had locked it when all of our parents left.
Yeah.
So, of course, me being the only boy, they made me go check it. And there was nothing there. No one outside, no one inside the house. So I shut it and locked it again. And then went back and told everybody there was nothing there. And then maybe 20 minutes later, it happened again. And we honestly thought it was our parents fucking with us.
Yeah.
And we were dead sure our parents were fucking with us. But
Yeah.
I walked outside, no one out there. I walked out the front to see if they had maybe parked the car out front and ran around to unlock it. Nothing. And it didn't
Wow.
happen again after that, but yeah, we were pretty freaked out.
Wow. There it is.
And then me and Kyle, we went to Mouth Cemetery last year, 2 years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was crazy.
That was
Is there
pretty cool.
anything at that big old cemetery that I passed coming out here? It's like a beautiful looking cemetery. It's like on both sides of the street.
Yeah, no, I haven't really heard anything about that.
Yeah, it's like freaking huge. I'm driving.
But
it's-
it is cool.
It's very like shady, like not shady, like in a bad way.
It's
but
a
like,
nice cemetery.
I'm like, man, I don't want to be buried, but if I was, it would definitely it would definitely be a place like that. You know?
Yeah, not like in Bay City where the cemetery is right across from the hospital. So you get to see that in your bed, like, yep, I'm going there.
Dude, something you should check out, since we were talking about work, the Detroit Hamtramck plant, there's a cemetery right in the middle of it.
What?
It's like a Jewish cemetery. So
right in the middle of the plant.
So what? Well, it's like outside, but they built the plant around it because what that
how do you access it then if you have somebody else buried there?
you got to get General Motors permission. They open like once a year for like Rosh Hashanah or something. It's like a Jewish cemetery.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, and they don't bury any. It's very small. They haven't buried anybody there in probably like 100 years.
Holy
And so there's
shit.
like really no families anymore that go there because it's like their great grandpa
Yeah,
or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But it's like back in the day before they built that plant, it was like in the early 80s, I believe they built it. They literally bought up a whole Jewish community all the houses, churches, everything, and bulldoze it to make this plant. But they could not get. You can find out all about this on Google. It's like the Olin something cemetery, and
Okay. Hey, Rich, look it up real quick.
To move all that is like a big religious thing, that GM would have had to go through to excavate all the bodies and move them. It's and it would have cost like a fortune to move it. So they just said, screw it, leave it there, build the plant around it, just make sure there's access points in there. And technically it's our property. So they let the, whatever Jewish church is out there, they open it up for like Rosh Hashanah or something like that. It's the Detroit Hamtramck Assembly for General Motors. If Rich is over there looking it up feverishly on Google right now.
Yeah, that's weird though. It's like, could you do that for like a Indian reservation or something like that?
Yeah, there it is, Beth Olim Cemetery. It's over on that right-hand side. That's what the cemetery is.
Oh yeah, Bethlehem Cemetery.
Yeah,
That's
so
the
you
picture right
look at it, and in the background you can see the plant all around it. It's a very small cemetery, and they only open like once a year. And nobody's been buried there for like 100 years because it's not a active cemetery anymore.
Dude,
so it's the most bizarre thing.
That
It's
is
like,
really bizarre.
yeah, they literally bought up an entire Jewish community and plowed it all over, all down. GM got like a butt ton of money, and we're like, okay, screw you,
Thanks,
Jewish
Rich.
community. And they bulldozed the entire thing, relocated this whole Jewish community, and left the cemetery.
That is crazy,
Yeah,
dude.
it's the most nutty thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And since we're talking about work again, if you work at a certain area in that plant, you have to pay Detroit taxes. If you work on the other side of the plant, you don't, because technically you're in Hamtramck.
Whoa.
Yeah, because Detroit has city taxes.
So you got to do the city tax thing in the
If
fill
you're
your taxes.
you got. It's I don't know how much it is, but
Is it like a lot, or is it something that's like?
Well, it's like you'll pay your federal taxes, your state taxes, and then you have city taxes.
right. Well,
on
I'm
top
just
of
wondering,
that.
like, are they? Like,
I mean, it'd probably be
have you ever had to pay?
No,
city
I've never
tax?
worked in Detroit.
No. You've always been on that other side.
Yeah, so it's like literally, my uncle works there. He's like, literally, there's a line going down the plant that says Hamtramck on one side, Detroit on the other.
Damn.
If you're on the Detroit side, that's where your job is. You have to pay city taxes. If you get transferred to across the thing into Hamtramck, you don't have to pay those city taxes anymore. It's the most bizarre, weird thing out there.
That reminds me of when my dad worked for the delivering too, who ended up getting me my job delivering for DHL. There was a line where on one side of the line they were union workers, on the other side they were non-union.
Yeah.
And they all did the same thing.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's the weirdest shit. When it comes to stuff
Wouldn't
like
that be even be more infuriating? It's like we're both doing the same fucking job.
Yeah.
We're both going out driving a DHL van to
Yeah.
deliver packages. You're unionized. We're not.
Yeah.
We're getting dicked. You're getting good pay.
Wow. Yeah, that's weird.
And they had to do it. Like they're both on each side of the line.
Yeah.
That's fucking fucked, man.
Yeah. Where I work, they're just getting rid of the union jobs and subcontracting everything. So
Really?
we have a lot of non-union work in our plant now.
Really?
Yeah.
So are you like you're not afraid of your job?
No.
No.
I have enough seniority.
your 3-bolt?
I've been working there for so long.
Yeah, 3-bolt staying.
Yeah. No, I'm actually trying to get off that job. It's so boring.
Why? Well,
It's
what are you gonna
so-
do now? What
I wanna-
are you shooting for?
I want to work the welding machines.
The welding machines? So you want to like sit there with that big old helmet on, get all hot?
Well, they're automatic welders, and they're sparkless.
Oh, you don't have to wear a helmet?
No, they're sparkless.
Sparkless.
Yeah. So you're not getting weld flash or anything like that.
No.
So, because there's a certain way you have to weld aluminum.
Yeah, but welding
opposed
takes
to-
skill.
They're on. You pretty
You
much
have
just-
that skill?
Yeah,
to weld?
I've done it before.
You have? So you can make a good weld. Or
Yeah.
is that the kind of welding we're talking about here? Because you're talking about like
There's- it's-
anti-flash and all this other
It's
shit.
spot welding.
Spot welding.
Yeah.
So this little thing comes down. Okay, that's similar to what I was talking about when I did
Yeah, it's
Hayworth.
there's a lot more. You're handling very sharp metal and all of
Right.
this, and loading it in, and then you have to change out the welding tips and all this with the copper welding tips and all that. You got to change all that out. You got to
Right.
maintain the machines. If they break down, you got to know how to diagnose it and fix it. And it seems it would make the day go by a lot faster than All right, next.
Okay.
You know.
It reminds me of like if you were gonna like discount tire or something. I don't know. Would you want to work there?
No.
Fuck no.
No.
Why? Are you good with cars?
No.
Me
No,
either. Me either.
I can't do shit with cars.
Not me.
My family thinks that's the weirdest thing ever. They're like, "Don't you make them all day?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know how to, change spark plugs. That's not my job description.
Dude, no.
I know how to do those 3 bolts.
Yeah.
If you have a problem with your hood, and you need that reattached, I got your back. I can
got
do
your
it.
back,
I
bruh.
can do it. If the one thing I do know how to do is I know how to run wires. I know how to wire a car.
For sound.
For anything, your
Anything.
power windows,
Really?
your foggers, I know how to run all that wiring.
So if you had a wiring issue in your car, you could fix it.
It would be a lot of work to do it, but I could fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it'd be all those other people's jobs before you, taking off the panel and all that. You don't know.
and there's a lot of wiring under the floor, under the
yeah.
carpet. So you have
Fuck
to take your
that.
seats out, you have to take the carpeting out, you got to take your center console out. The way they have all that crap.
I
put
just
together
go with
now.
mount my power window. I just
Yeah.
leave it up. Fuck it.
Hopefully your AC works.
Yeah, well,
There you
fuck
go.
it, dude. I ain't paying that money for somebody to do it. You imagine? Come on, man. This is gonna be like at least $1,000.
Dude, I remember once.
Well, dude, we're gonna have to take off this part of your door frame. We're gonna take off your carpet. We're gonna
When
have
I
to
was
lift it all up. We're gonna have to take all the wiring. Dude, you know how they are.
When I was a kid,
Come on.
my dad got me my first car in the power window.
what kind of
broke.
car was it?
It was a
Piece of shit.
Yeah, it was like a 1994 Ford Probe.
Ford Probe.
Yeah, it was a small little
Bring
car.
up one of those cars,
I
Rich.
thought it was. I thought it was super
94
cool.
Ford Probe.
I think it was like a 94, 95, 96.
Do you remember
somewhere
what color it was?
there. Red.
Red. Okay, a red one.
Yeah, and I thought it was so bitchin' because it had the headlights that popped up.
Yeah,
So I'm like, dude, it's
Yeah.
it's sweet as shit.
Bitchin'. I just said that earlier too.
And-
Bitchin'.
And those fuckers broke. One stayed up, and then one would never go up. So
It's like
I had
it's
one,
winking at you.
Yeah, it's winking. So anytime you were driving at night, you had to get the yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
That's sharp.
yeah. It was. It didn't look that sharp, but
But
it was kind
at
of
one time it was sharp.
All
right.
It,
After
it
that,
wasn't
Rich,
that sharp in 2005.
put Rusty on
Yeah,
Rusty for
it wasn't that sharp 10 years
Man,
after.
They
but
killed the name though. Probe.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I remember
Probing.
the
Probing down the street.
Man, I wish I was a rapper. Then I'd definitely come out with something bitching for that one. But what's anyway, my power window went out on the damn thing, and my dad's like, "Well,
Your window did.
so the power windows wouldn't work, and my air conditioning didn't work. So it was pretty much
Oh.
if it was hot, you just rolled the window down. The heat worked, so you just turned the heat on, but the AC thing, and I'm like, I'm not paying to fix that. And then the window stopped working. So summer was a fucking mess.
That's
so
when
he's
you
like,
just wish you had the hand crank.
so he's like, you can fix it yourself. It's your car. Take your money that you made at the supermarket and get it fixed. Because I was like 16, 17
Dude, what were you
years
making in
old.
like an hour? What were you making? Oh, you were under 18 too. So
Yeah,
you
it was
had
like
to
my
make
first
it
car.
dicked.
It was $5.25 an hour I was making. That was minimum wage at the time.
When I started under 18 at Wendy's, I was getting $6.25.
Yep, got $5.25, and I'd only worked part time, so I was only working like 12 hours. So I was making like $60 a week.
Yeah, it's
I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? $60 a week, And my dad's like, you can get it fixed yourself. It's your car. So I took
Yeah,
it. I take it
okay,
in. I
all
take
right.
it in. I'm like, how much is this going to cost? And they're like, well, it should go, between parts and labor and all this, about $450. And I'm like, you could take that and shove it up your ass. That's like my quarterly income,
yeah, exactly. So what did you do? Deal with the
I
window being
busted the window out, and then I put a piece of plexiglass in there,
out? Did you?
and that I could just pull up and pull or take out or put in.
yeah.
So I just went.
So it was
to
nice out. You're taking that plexiglass
take the
out.
plexiglass out. So it's either the window was rolled all the way up or all the way down. There was no in between. But I just busted the motherfucker out. Went to fucking Ace Hardware and spent probably about $15 on a piece of plexiglass.
Hell yeah.
Hijack, a horrible cut job. Kind of guesstimated how big it was.
Yeah.
And just taped it into my car. And I'm like,
So you had to
there it is.
retape it every time.
It was duct tape, so it would stick a couple times. And
Yeah.
then you'd have to replace it, and then
Yeah.
going to school, people would kick that fucker in and write a bunch of shit on my
fucking
dashboard.
bastards.
You're like, Ricky's a dick all over my dashboard or something like that, and I'd have like people would throw food and shit in my car and let it bake in the summer heat.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd get out there and I'm like, oh, that Whopper does look good, but it's probably still warm, so yeah, that.
So
good
you
times.
have you always been called Ricky?
No, that's actually not my name at all.
No.
No.
It's Richard, right?
No,
What's your name?
no.
What's your real name?
I don't put it out there
Why not?
because I don't want people tracking me down.
Oh,
That's actually like a legit issue.
Wow.
I had to move because of that.
holy
Because
shit.
some people that don't like me found out what my name was.
Holy
So I had to move.
So you have like oh fuck, what was Stephen King's fucking
Like I legit have like restraining orders against people.
against people? Holy shit.
People I met in music, I think I have
And just from music?
I have 3 active restraining
Who the
orders.
hell did you fuck over?
I,
What kind of
no,
Pineapple
it was
Express
just-
shit is
it was
this?
creepy people leaving me weird notes in my mailbox and shit like that. And
And you can't have them finding out your real name.
well, they know my real name. They just don't.
Or
I just
yeah,
don't
well,
want
they
people
know
looking
your
up-
real, but you don't want them to find you.
Yeah, I don't want to put my real name out there and be like, okay, Google search, where's this guy live, and find out where I live now.
Yeah,
That's
but
why
if
I
they
don't
already know your real name, then what does it matter?
because I have restraining orders against them. So
Yeah, but they
should-
already know your real name. So if you said your real name,
Well,
what
the-
does it matter?
I don't want more people knowing
Why?
because a lot of
Is
these.
it embarrassing?
No, it's actually it's a very.
Is it really?
It's a very basic name.
Is it basic?
Yeah.
Well, Richard is kind of basic.
No, it's even more basic than that.
What is it?
It's not like Chad or anything like that.
Is it Adam?
No.
Because Adam's pretty basic.
Yeah, no. Jason.
Jason?
Yeah.
Jason Statham?
I wish. No, if I was Jason Statham, I would not be here talking to you right now.
shit.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to picture you as Jason.
Yeah, well, that's
Jason Bourne?
Yes, that's me,
No.
Jason. But no,
But your last name's right.
no,
No?
no.
Oh.
Rikki Roxx is just something I made
No.
up.
So Richard Rockman is not.
No, that's not it either. The thing that happened.
Holy
the,
fuck.
The reason that's on Facebook is because originally
So
my
only
face,
your close friends know.
and my family. Yeah,
And your family.
there's a couple people in the
well,
music
obviously
scene
your
that-
fucking family are not just like, oh yeah.
there's a couple people.
Oh,
out
I
there-
thought your name was Richard
Yeah,
this whole
no,
time.
There's a couple people in the music scene that are still around that remember when I performed under my original name.
Wow.
But I
dude.
literally just Rikki Roxx is completely made up.
Well, I ain't gonna make you say the last name.
Completely made up. I went on like it was like an 80s hair band.
Well,
name
I
generator
thought
on
Rikki
Google.
Roxx was made up, but then I was like, but then I seen, well, this is like when I'm first hearing about you. I don't know
Yeah.
how long ago it was. But then I seen, okay, Richard Rockman. I was like, oh, okay, Rikki Roxx, Richard Rockman. That makes sense.
So what happened was I had the Facebook, with RIKKI-ROXX, and then one time I tried to log in and I got a notification, hey, that doesn't sound like a real name. Please change your name to something else.
Really?
Change it to your real name.
You got that for Rikki Roxx?
Yeah.
With the XX?
Yeah, the RIKKI-ROXX. So I'm like, I need to get into my fucking Facebook. I got shit to do. So I was just like literally on my way home. I'm like, okay, what would be like the full name of Richard Rockman? Boom, there it is. Change my name to that. They didn't ask for ID or anything. It just sounded more
Wow,
real. So
dude.
that's why it's Richard Rockman.
So how
on
long
Facebook.
you been living this Richard Rockman life?
Well, Facebook got changed to Richard Rockman probably about 3 or 4 years ago.
3 or 4 years ago, Rikki Roxx was.
Well, Rikki Roxx I've had that for
How long you been living the alternate life as a different name?
probably about 10 or 11 years.
10 or 11 years.
I've been performing as
So
Rikki
you've been
Roxx.
performing though for how long though in the music scene?
23.
23.
I started when I was 13 in my first band.
23. So like
Yeah, so about-
98 or 90. Yeah, 98.
13.
Late 90s.
97.
Late
97,
90s.
96, 97, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I remember I was 13 years old.
So like grunge was really kicking when you came into the scene.
No, grunge was done.
Grunge was done?
Like,
Well, see, I was
Like
born. I was
Nirvana-
born 90.
Nirvana
so,
and all that was pretty much, Kurt Cobain died in 94.
Okay, so if you were 97, that's like 2 years,
97,
3
98,
years
you're
after,
getting
yeah.
Green Day Dookie coming out. You're getting the emergence of pop punk
So
at
that's
that
like
time.
punk.
Yeah,
Punk,
you
pop-
kind
pop
of got
punk,
yeah.
yes.
That's
Pop punk.
yeah. So I was growing up in the pop punk thing. Green Day, and then you had Sum 41, Blink 182. You had
Oh yeah,
all those
that's
bands.
yeah.
And then on the metal
Then all
side,
of a sudden, Good
There's all new
Charlotte's
metal.
came out.
Good
and you're like,
Charlotte,
oh my
and
god,
then
what
after-
the fuck is happening?
then the funny thing was I was in a lot of those pop punk bands. And
Well, fucking Good Charlotte wasn't pop.
what
punk, were they?
eventually kind of, which is totally totally weird. And every time I tell people this, they're like, really, what? Like those guys that played pop punk when it was popular, once it fell out of popularity, they all became hardcore, like hardcore metal.
Really?
You know, the
because that's what they always wanted to play.
you know, where you have like your clean singer that has kind of that gay Chad voice, and then your screamer. You know, that gay Chad was a pop punk singer at some point, and and since pop punk's not popular anymore, because once that fizzled out, you had bands like Avenged Sevenfold starting to make it big, who had their roots in hardcore.
Okay,
you know, backcountry started coming out.
I fucking hate Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan, but you know,
because of the vocals.
You know, back when they started, you know, back in the late 90s, they were very hardcore. M Shadows would scream. He was just this,
right?
And then I guess he blew his voice out. So if they were going to continue, they had to do the Green Day thing and abandon their original thing and go pop. You know, so that's when they became like a rock band. Same thing happened with Metallica too. You know, Hetfield kind of lost his voice, and then you started getting things like Load and Reload, and you know. The Unforgiven. And,
I didn't like Load at all.
You know, you started getting the kind of more rock version of Metallica, not the early purveyors of thrash, you know, like Ride to Lightning and shit like that. You know, they kind of became a rock band as opposed to a metal band.
So you don't think of them as metal?
No, not anymore.
Metallica, not anymore.
No.
They're a rock band.
They're a rock band. No.
So they belong on like classic rock stations.
They're on classic rock
I know,
stations.
but you're one that's like, yeah, they belong there.
Yeah.
To where you don't hear it on the radio, like, oh, they're on classic rock.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're not going to hear Slayer on classic rock radio or anything like that.
No.
You know, that's a metal band. You know,
well, no, I mean, but that's a lot of people like would have a disagreement with that.
I mean, back in 1985, yeah, Metallica was metal. They were the heaviest shit out there. Now, no, not by a long shot are they as heavy. You know, there's rock bands heavier than Metallica.
Yeah, but them and Slayer were playing at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
but you know,
and they were still both metal, right?
But Slayer was a lot more metal. You know,
they're a lot more metal. But so that's what I'm saying is has metal become
that bar's moved?
Like basically like so rock genre has expanded and metal genre has shrinked.
Well, no. I think a lot of things that people call rock now, you know, a lot of country artists will start billing themselves as rock bands.
What? Name one.
Florence and the Machine.
Florence and the Machine. Okay, I don't really listen to them.
I'm not a huge country fan, but you know, look at a lot of country artists now. They have the band. They're doing guitar solos.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of your pinnacles of rock music.
But your guitar big ones are still the
they have
Sheltons.
But even watch when you get time and you really want to wallow in misery, go watch some Blake Shelton live stuff.
It's a full band,
and you will see, like everything that makes a rock song is in these country songs now. They're doing guitar solos. Their stadium shows are like bonkers. The only thing that's different is they have that dumb twanging guitar and a guy that's straight out of a fucking pickup truck in Kentucky.
They got the little sits there. What is that called?
I think it's a lap steel.
A lap steel?
I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's
that sounds right.
You know, the bar for metal, has moved. Like listen
but
to.
You're saying, but you're going moved up. I'm arguing as it shrank. I don't think it has moved up.
Well, it's not moved up, but it's like
I think it's shrank because
when Metallica came out, they were the hardest game on the planet. They were they were Black Sabbath times 10.
Right.
They were heavy, they were fast, and now I can name probably a dozen bands in Detroit that are harder and faster than Metallica.
Oh, well, yeah.
So what metal just has gotten.
So that's why
metal has gotten harder and harder and harder. So that, metal, I don't know how to kind of explain it. The top, the hardness of metal has gotten a lot harder.
Yes.
And
that's why there's rock, so many subgenres.
Rock, the harder edge of rock is now in the Metallica thing, but the bottom edge of rock, is
hard rock a category?
It's a very broad category, and that
So is rock.
It's a subgenre.
It's
Is it?
Yeah.
This gets into a slippery slope, and when we start going genres,
It always
I
does.
hate this mostly in metal. I see this
Oh,
all
I know.
the time in metal.
We talk about it a
I'll
lot.
talk to a band and be like, okay, without sending me your music, what kind of band are you? Post-hardcore, shoegaze,
And I have to
thrash,
look it
and
all up.
this stuff. And I'm like, bro, metal would have sufficed just perfectly. You could just
Yeah.
told me metal. And I'd be like, okay, hard band.
Well,
I don't need
I mean,
post-apocalyptic.
Well, nowadays
doom
you need.
thrash.
Yeah. Nowadays you need a little something more than metal because there's so many. So, but you don't have to give me these post-hardcore. What'd you say? Shoelace?
Shoegaze.
Shoegaze? Yeah. What the fuck is
Kinda
that?
Like I think it's like slower.
Slower. Okay, so just like I always said my
stoner
band.
doom post-apocalyptic.
I always said
thrash
for our
hardcore.
band we were groove metal.
See, that's easy. Give me one word in metal. I don't need post-apocalyptic,
No,
orchestral,
No.
acid metal.
No. Groove
I
metal.
I don't need 500 damn words.
And then if they wanted a band or two, I would say like Pantera
because
and stuff like
when I get bands like this, and I get a lot of them, where they have to have 7 different words before they get to metal, I'm like, okay, so it pretty much means this sucks and nobody wants to listen to it.
Damn.
Because I don't know if there's a huge crowd for European post-apocalyptic orchestral thrash doom stoner metal, sludge metal. I don't think that's going to be a huge demo.
Yeah, you kind of narrowed down your demographic there.
Yeah, to where they can just be like, dude, we're the biggest post-apocalyptic,
Yeah.
operatic,
That's what they're putting for their like posts. On,
number
like,
one on Reverb Nation.
They're paying like $100. Like, oh, we're gonna pay $100 on this this post, and then they narrow their audience down
Yeah.
to that. And it's like you're gonna reach 2 people a day.
And one of them is going to be you. The other one's going to be your girlfriend / boyfriend because you have that kind of
Because it's your whole
genre.
Because it's your whole project you did in your studio down in your basement with your MIDI drums.
Yeah, dude. You would not even believe some of the garbage.
Get ready
I
for
hear.
the hype. Get ready.
Get
ready, it's coming.
It's a thing, man. I'm hearing metal bands, with the backing tracks and the trap music and shit in there and a DJ and all this
Korn
shit.
fucking came out with their
Sure.
fucking dubstep album, and then everybody opened the gates for everybody. Like, okay,
And now they're kind of like, oh, well, Korn did heavy metal, rap, dubstep. So now we're going to add orchestral arrangements and
Korn's kind of always been accepted in the rap community, though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Huh?
They got songs
Korn,
with
Nas.
Yeah,
Ice
Yeah.
Cube.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan, he can sing. He can
rap.
put out a lot of words in very quick succession.
Yeah.
Whether or not you can tell what the fuck those words are.
Well,
aside
sometimes
from-
you can't tell.
It's like fucking. Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
you know,
it's like,
they're-
what are you fucking R2D2 here? What's going on here, bro?
Their bassist Fieldy has a rap album.
Of course he does, because bass players have nothing better to do.
Dude,
than rap
bass,
albums.
their bass player is such a show off on stage.
I don't like Fieldy because it's not a
Are you,
bass guitar.
you
it's a
big show
percut-
off on stage?
Yeah.
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 You like take the bass and like just like hump it and shit.
Yeah,
You
I
do that?
have. Yeah.
Yeah?
I do that quite a bit, and I do the thing where I'll put the bass up on my shoulder and use it as a fucking gun. And
Oh
like,
yeah.
pow, like yeah, I do all the dumb shit.
Yeah, but you've
Yeah.
always played the music where you can do that shit, right?
Yeah,
Have you ever played in like fast metal
no,
bands?
I don't have the skill for it.
No.
I don't have. I
Or the time to dedicate to it.
I see a lot of bass players will say, "Oh, playing a bass is its own skill separate from guitar." Bullshit. I'm playing bass because I was a shitty guitar player. I'm not going to lie to
Right.
you and say,
Yeah,
"Hey, I set
for
out to
sure.
I set out to be a bass player." No, I
No.
wanted to be a guitar player, but I'm like, wait, more than one string at a time? Fuck this noise.
No,
I'm going
man.
to play bass one note at a time.
No.
and you can get away with a lot less.
Yeah.
I can sit there and just go dum 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 for a whole damn
You
song, and it
can.
could fit.
It could fit.
It could
as long
fit.
as you're in time.
But a guitar player does that chunk, 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 chunk.
No.
You can't do that for a whole damn song.
No.
Bass just kind of gets to sit around and back, hang out with the drummer, and get 0 chicks. I mean, you got to see the kind of dogs that are attracted to bass players. Dogs. Mustache, the whole bit. Mustaches, the whole thing. That's where the restraining orders come in.
Yes. Yes. Well, we had to
Yeah.
change our name.
You did?
No, you.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
speaking for you.
Yeah. No, that's. I'll give this to girls that like bass players. They really like their bass players.
Yeah.
But they're fucking ugly. Ugly. Luckily, I met my wife when I was a guitar player, and she thought I was going to be a guitar
There you
player.
go.
And I switched to bass. I'm like, you're stuck with me.
I'm a bass player now.
Gotcha.
Lose your ass in, motherfucker.
So I'm like, she's like, oh, why don't you play guitar? I'm like, because I can't. I'm not good.
I'm not good,
I
man.
There's 6 strings on this thing. I can usually only count to 4 before bright light takes my attention away. So I'm like,
More like a fucking Grim Reaper with people walking around.
Bass is enough for, they're like, oh, Ricky, why don't you try playing 5 strings? I'm like, what the fuck kind of bass player do you think I am, bro?
Yeah,
I just
bro.
told you I play one note on one string through a whole song. 3 of my strings just to make sure the neck doesn't warp.
Yes.
Just to make sure it doesn't twist. Otherwise, I would just have one string on there, and I'd be in a gent band.
Yeah. Maybe you should just play stand-up bass.
Oh, I can't. I tried.
Did you?
Yeah.
There's no frets.
Yeah, no, I need
Fuck that.
I need frets. I need to know what the fuck I'm doing. I can't eyeball that shit.
No, dude. You gotta
you're
frets,
you're off a little bit. You're gonna be off, man. So I'm like, fuck this noise.
No.
It's no bueno.
Yeah, no, man. But then again, like you said, you're on bass, so it's like, But then again, I always speak, and you do too. We're all, we're guilty. Maybe the only one, Rich, but he played an instrument. He played guitar for a little bit in his time, but it's like we come at it though, and we can hear everything. So I would say bass players can get away with more mistakes, but then again, I hear them. When the bass is off, you can kind of fucking hear it.
Well,
Like if all of a sudden you just hit this bad bass note, it's like, "Mwah," and it should not have been there.
Well, I
like
mean,
you can fucking hear that
yeah,
shit.
I mean, you can hear, as
But
musicians.
does people, fans come like?
That's
do
what I
they
was about to
hear?
say. Musicians can hear that shit. I don't even really think I'm a musician. I just kind of know how to muster my way around a bass.
But I don't know how me and you can even speak on it because
But
we're not
it's-
fans. Like we were once, but I don't really remember that because I've always had drums.
I'll say, if somebody took video of me playing, a show, and then I show it to my wife later, I'm like, did you hear me fuck up? She's like, no, I didn't hear anything. I'm like, right here. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, this one note I played right here is completely wrong. And she's like, I can't tell. I can't, it sounded fine to me.
Right.
And so it's like normal people, can't hear that you're a half step off.
Right.
If you're completely just shitting the bed on it and you're just way off, it's
But
one
what
thing.
about drums? I
Well,
think people can
Drums are you got
if you're just like kind of like because that's what bugs me the most if I go to if I'm at a place and a band's playing
yeah.
and the drummer is just a little bit off every time I'm like
Well, the thing
just
is,
like a one beat off.
Anybody can feel a beat. You don't have to be a musician to feel a beat. Like my
Yes.
wife bobs her head, right on time to the beat. Everybody
Yes.
can recognize a beat. Not everybody knows the difference between a C and a C sharp.
Yes.
So when a drummer's off, you have a little leeway, I guess, on and off the beat. You can waver a little bit, but once you're like half a beat off, where it's like you're just completely crapping to bed. You don't have to be a fucking metronome. There's a lot to be said about rock and it's being organic and being a little off.
But you are the metronome.
But it's not
The
like you have to
drummer
be,
is the metronome.
You don't have to be perfect. You
don't have to be perfect, but you are the metronome.
Yeah, you are the metronome, but there is a little wavering. That's what lends to the organics of rock and roll and metal. And this is why I don't like when producers quantize drums and just match everything to a fucking grid.
Yeah.
It takes away from the organic.
That's
thing of
for
music.
pop and rap music and
Yes.
shit like that. That's not for rock and metal.
I don't
and
like
stuff.
when they do it because unless you're, I guess, one of those metal bands that are like your I Prevails of the world and shit like
Yeah.
that. Yes, they have a certain sound and a certain product. So yes, you're going to quantize everything because you got to have
You got
everything
bass
else.
drops. You got all
You
this.
got to
kinds of
match
stuff.
all that crap up. It's all put together on a grid. When you're in your normal rock and roll band or metal band, I want to hear that kind of organic thing where, okay,
Yeah.
the drummer is going between, 100 BPMs and 95. That subtle thing that kind of, I watched a video the other day where somebody quantized "Running with the Devil" by Van Halen.
Okay.
Lined all of Alex Van Halen's drums up, put them all, somehow the guy got all the isolated tracks, guitar, bass, drums, vocals. And he lined all of Alex Van Halen's drums up to the beat all the way through. Lined up Michael Anthony's bass to the beat all the way through. Eddie Van Halen's guitar all the way through. David Lee Roth all the way through. It sounded like a completely different song.
Did it?
It sounded you listen to it, you're like, wow, this sounds like a computer made it, And it was the original raw isolated tracks, but he quantized everything, and he was making the argument that quantizing or putting, for people out there that don't know what quantizing means, it means matching everything up to a grid, where you have 1 and then 2 is equal distance from 3, 4, 5, 6. When you hear Van Halen or any rock or metal thing, mostly old school, your old school rock and metal. Now rock and metal has kind of jumped on that quantizing bandwagon. They work with, hip hop producers, so they just quantize everything to death,
right?
And put pitch shifting on everything. Yeah, horrible. And it's like singers. It's like it's okay if. You're hitting a C note, but it's supposed to be a C sharp. If you're a little bit off, that lends to the organic nature of what rock and metal is, or instrumented music. If you're programming on a computer, that's one thing. If you're doing beatboxing, or you're what do you call them? I don't know, whatever it is.
Fucking MIDI.
Yeah,
MIDI
controllers
MIDI
and all.
controllers.
Yeah, quantize the shit out of it, put it on its grid. That's how you fucking make it. You can't make that organic. It's
that's what I mean. Like
it's
that
inherently digital.
Music.
Playing guitar, it's organic. It's you're playing it with your fingers. You're playing it with your feet, your drums, your voice. It's inherently organic. Leave it that way.
Yep.
Leave it that way. I hate when metal bands, and a lot of producers will quantize the shit out of things. Mostly when you're a musician.
They
will quantize the shit out of it. You'll be like, okay, drummer, lay your drums down. All right, go take 2 hours off. I'm going to go quantize your drums and make sure they're all on here. I'm going to replace your drums with the pre-packaged ones. I bought this new drum sampling kit. So now your drums aren't your drums anymore. Your beat isn't yours anymore. Pretty much you wasted your time as a drummer at that point, because you easily just went to a program, just programmed all this shit.
Yep. Or it comes down to like, oh, well, I can just give you some MIDI drums for a cheaper price, and like you're trying to do this cheap as hell, and then you just get MIDI drums, and then of course it's gonna have to be quantized. What are you gonna do? Like, I mean, I'm sure there's something maybe you could do to give it the realistic. I know there's like levels that you can do, like with like hi hats, you can make them a little saucier. Like they're not like right on. Like you can feel it a little bit, But I mean, and people can do a good job.
If you're a drummer and you have shitty cymbals, that's part of your guys' sound. Leave the fucking shitty cymbals.
Just leave it in there.
If you have a big chunk taken out of your crash cymbal and you've been playing with that crushed up crash cymbal for the last 5 years, put it on the fucking record. That's what your band is. Your band doesn't have brand new Zildjian cymbals. You don't have fancy guitars. Use what you got. That's what people have heard from you guys. Don't put on record what you cannot do live.
Right.
If you can't do it live, don't do it in the studio. Phil Winkler from Dragsaw taught me that.
Yeah, see, that's what I've always kind of thought. That's my same thought, is if you can't replicate this live, then don't put it on the record, please.
Because at that point, look at it as a fan. If you're a fan, you're like saying, you're on Spotify and you come across Death Abides and everything's quantized and, say it was all sparkly and perfect. Oh, this is a great band. Fucking killer. I'm going to go check them out live. They go to a show. That's not what I heard on Spotify.
No.
That is totally, and it doesn't matter how great you are. It's not going to be what it is on that record. And they will be let down. No matter how great you killed it. No matter how great the show was. If it's not what's on that record, they're going to be disappointed at your show. They will never see you again.
Right. That's kind of been my argument with, but I understand why you do it. But when you're like a 3-piece band and you go on stage and like say you're playing solos and you have just the bass player behind you.
Yeah.
But on the record there's a backing guitar to it. And so it makes it sound, so much better. But then you go and play it live, you don't
you
don't
lose that
have
rhythm.
it.
Yeah, you lose that rhythm track behind that
unless
solo.
unless you have backing tracks and you can do all that and line it up
That's-
perfectly. So
you know-
I mean, that's one of those kind of arguments to it.
It's what I'd say to a band that has that problem. How hard is it for you to get another guitar player to just play those parts?
How hard is it? How hard is it to deal with the guitarist you can get
that's
to play those?
therein
parts?
lies the ever eternal problem in bands. That's why I've
Yes.
been in 27 of these.
Holy
because
fuck.
I always run into this problem.
No, man. So, well, some of them had to have been short-lived, like less than a year.
Yeah,
27.
A lot of my
Well,
early,
you said you've been playing for 23.
Yeah.
So
A lot of
there
my-
was definitely less than a year.
well, there were a lot of times where I was in more than one band at a
No,
time.
you're just fucking band whore.
I was when I was younger. Yeah,
You just
because
fucking
I
hoard
could
yourself
because
out.
I could play guitar and bass.
So you're just like, yeah, I can play bass. For
Yeah,
you.
and when
Fuck
you're
yeah.
when you're
Easy,
when
bro.
you're 13,
Saw, dude.
when you're 13, 14, 15 years old, you don't have a huge realm of musician friends. It's pretty much whoever you're in school with.
Yeah, MySpace. No, not with you.
No,
No, I wasn't. There wasn't MySpace when I was 13 either.
MySpace.
When was MySpace?
MySpace came out? I believe that I was a little bit further in high school. I might have been junior or senior.
I think
I
early
remember-
early 2000s.
2000s?
Yeah, I graduated.
Really?
I graduated in 02.
Because Facebook got big in 09 is when I started.
Oh, but that was
And
at
that was
first,
right after.
Facebook
Yeah,
was
when-
first
I mean,
just
we
for
had
colleges.
we had AOL.
Yeah, AOL. That's what I was.
Yeah,
gonna
we had
say.
AOL when I was a kid.
AOL. I remember that.
For
sure.
You've got mail.
And the instant messenger too.
That was a little bit later.
Yeah,
that
that's
was,
what I started kind of.
Yeah.
I remember the doot, doot, doot.
Yeah.
We didn't even have a computer until my dad, where my dad worked. They went on a business, and then they had all these computers there, and he went and grabbed the good one, at that time, brought it home, and then we had a computer. We had a golf game. We had a golf game and a fishing game, and then we had this other game. It was a trivia one called "You Don't Know Jack."
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this is what makes me feel old when people talk about the internet. When
That wasn't even internet, though.
When I got the original AOL, you'd log, your dial up, which for you kids out there who have never been exposed to that, that was back in the day. You have to had a phone line. Hey, kids,
Yep.
remember phone lines?
Yes.
Landlines, kids.
Yeah, they couldn't use the phone while you're on the internet.
Yeah.
My mom would bitch
Yeah.
at us to
Get
get
off the internet. I need the phone.
Whenever my sister's on the internet and I wanted to get on, I just pick up the phone and wait for it to disconnect her. She's like, "Oh, I got logged off. My turn."
Dude, I remember when we got a caller ID.
This was
like, whoa.
This was the internet for me. Okay, so you log on to AOL. You get the little welcome. You've got mail. Oh shit, I got an email. This is teched out as fuck. I got email, and
Whoa.
then a screen would come up. What do you want to? Where do you want to
How
go?
old were you when this was going on? You're like, you got an email?
Middle school. So you're
Yeah.
13,
How old are you?
30, almost 37.
37? Oh, okay. Well, I'm 30.
Yeah.
So we're 7 years out, but
So,
a
we're
little
talking
different
maybe 95, 96 ish,
Right.
94, 95, somewhere around in there.
that's when I was in like kindergarten.
Mid 90s. So a screen would pop up on AOL. You had the option between news, sports scores, weather, and stock market. That was the internet.
Yeah. Right? That was
They-
your internet.
They didn't have www.anything.com.
I didn't even have Google then.
They
No.
they had nothing. It was everybody had AOL because you used to get the free 20 and you had to pay by the minute for internet.
Yo.
You'd get the AOL
you
discs.
get the free minutes.
You'd be,
It was
you'd
usually
be
like 60 minutes.
you'd have minutes. You'd get a CD. Pretty much in any magazine you'd ever buy, you'd have an AOL. I got hundreds of these fuckers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because I know one day they're gonna be worth something.
Do you have them right now?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
I have them in a box in my basement.
Really?
Yeah, because
Dude,
I used to
that's
just
so cool.
I
You
used
should
to just
post a
take
picture of 'em.
I just used to take it and just chuck them in a bin. And then when my parents moved, they're like, "Do you want all these AOL CDs?" I'm like, "Yes." They're gonna CDs are these are gonna be worth something. These
Dude,
are
they could be.
internet artifacts, And the way it used to
Dude.
work, you couldn't just go on the
Could
internet.
you still use them, I wonder?
Oh, I don't even know if any computer would support them.
Really?
Because it's probably like Windows 3,
right.
Windows 4 or something like that.
What was it? Windows 95.
Okay, so Windows 95. You know, they had like Windows 4 or 5, and then they went to 95, 96, 97, and they started doing Windows X.
Wouldn't that be
and all
funny
that
if
shit.
it like went on there and it did the sound for you? It was like, ding, ding,
Oh,
ding, ding,
Jesus. So, yeah, they had no www. Anything. There
Nothing.
wasn't. There
It's
was
just
no
those tabs.
internet. You know, you had Netscape, and there were a couple websites you could go.
That's
Wall
like
Street,
Mac.
Like Wall Street News, I think, had a website, and then a couple
Wall Street News.
Military had websites and shit
Right.
like that, and the White House had, you know.
Oh, they had their website.
Just don't type in whitehouse.com. Got in trouble for that in high school.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Back when I was in high school, that was a porn site.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. You had to go whitehouse.gov.
Oh,
This
.gov,
was
yeah.
before they had like firewalls and protection to keep you from porn sites. So when I was in school,
Whitehouse.com.
they had that. I don't know if it's still a porn
Damn.
site, but you know, they used to have. I don't know if they still have them in school, but
He's
it's-
going to look.
well, Rich is gonna be out of commission for the rest of the show. You know, but it was like, you know, I don't know if they still have them in school, but they're like when I was in school, in elementary school, the whole school had 5 computers. There were Apple. You had the one that had Oregon Trail and shit on it.
Right, right.
This makes me sound old as shit. And then it was like a big deal when we got our first computer lab in school. When I was in middle school, we got 10 computers with LAN internet access. So you could go on and not have to deal with phone lines and shit like that.
Right.
That was like big technological shit. Wow, a school actually has 10 computers hooked up to the internet at the same time.
Right. That's fucking
Bonkers as shit.
Dope.
And now look at this shit. You know, computers used to weigh like a fucking ton. Now it's like you can get a computer this big and surf the
know,
internet.
right?
And, you can get the internet on your fucking phone anywhere in the United
Dude.
States.
You gonna get the fucking Neuralink if it comes out? You heard of that?
No.
You're not
What's
gonna
that?
get it?
I don't know what it is.
That's the fucking thing that Elon Musk is working on. Oh yeah. Gonna
that
get
guy's
on that?
weird, dude.
You think he's weird?
That guy's weird.
I think the dude's fucking kind
I
of
mean,
cool.
I think he's one of those like
I don't know, man. Weird. So you wouldn't trust anything that he's doing, even with like Tesla. You wouldn't drive a Tesla. You wouldn't drive
no,
a
they've
Tesla.
had a lot of problems with those. You know, but his, you know,
Well, of course you wouldn't because you work for GM.
Yeah, there you go. I got my own deficient electric cars I can drive.
Yeah, no shit.
You know, but it's like,
What about his SpaceX thing? You're like, fuck that. NASA
I mean,
all
it's
the way.
it's
NASA.
It's good because he came up with that at a point when the U.S. wasn't putting any money into NASA anymore.
Yeah, there's another one too that cropped up. I forget the name of it.
Virgin Galactic.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Richard Branson, the guy who used to own Virgin Records and all that.
Okay.
Way back before Elon
What about
Musk.
Virgin Mobile?
I think it might be the same guy.
Really?
I think it might be.
Look it
Richard
up.
Yes,
Branson-
it is. It is.
Yeah,
Is it?
Richard
Yes.
Branson's like a fucking billionaire. He's like
Damn.
an English dude, and he made his
Yeah.
he made his money in music too. He owned a record store, and he made it turn into Virgin Records and signed all
Yeah,
these
that
big.
place is
Dude, look up a
huge.
picture of this guy, Rich.
Richard Branson. He was
Richard
like-
Branson, because I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
but I'm
he
not
was
sure.
like he looks like a total d bag, you know. But
Okay, cool.
He
Cool.
looks. He
Bring
looks,
up this D-bag.
Well, he pretty
Bring
much
up
looks
this
like
D-bag.
your typical, you know, English rich dude.
Well,
You know,
Yeah.
kind of looks. I don't know if Richard Branson would show up, but yeah,
is it the guy? What's the guy's name that played fucking James Bond or whatever? Is his name Richard Branson too?
Are you thinking of?
No, that's who's that other
Is his name
English name?
Bronson too?
Bronson? No, his first name Bronson. Come on, Rich. You got to step your game
Come
up
on,
here,
Rich, man.
You're-
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
you're
We're
a
like
research
His
department.
name is at the tip of my tongue.
we're at two search pieces
I
behind
wanted to,
here.
I wanted to
Rich.
say Bronson Pinchot, but that was Balky.
No.
You remember that? Perfect Strangers?
Oh man, no, I don't.
No?
No, I don't.
Balky? Bronson Pinchot? And Cousin Larry?
See, Rich, now we're 3 searches behind.
Okay.
Yeah, your stupid thing
So
isn't
you know
working.
Family Matters?
The
Uh-oh.
little window.
Oh, you gotta click the. Did you click? Oh, it's not working.
I love technical difficulties. This is great. You know Family Matters?
Oh, we were trying to get it recorded. This
Yeah,
is the first
there's
time we're
Richard
trying
Branson.
to get
Richard
yeah,
Branson.
that fucker. This is the first time we're trying to get the webpage recorded on the podcast too, so you see exactly what we're looking at. We've always had it on screen because I have the little room cam there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he came up with.
He's like, oh, another camera. I didn't see that.
This is like backroom facials here. I'm like, dude. When you were playing that weird trippy music earlier, I'm like, this
Yeah.
is
What's
where it
his
starts.
name?
I'm trying to find it.
Richard Bronson. I thought.
No.
No. Okay.
It should be right there.
Way
Go
off.
back to that. Okay, or do that.
It says
Scroll
okay,
down.
or do that. Yeah.
It should say
Well, it's got to be in the I am
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Pierce
that makes
Brosnan.
sense now that
Yeah.
I hear it. But that's who I thought of when you said that. And I'm like, no.
No, he came up with Virgin Galactic before Elon Musk did, but he just
Yeah.
never really took off because this was probably about 10, 15-ish years ago that he started Virgin Galactic with the big idea of putting people, on the moon and shit like that.
Sound like the one that I've heard of, the other third one.
But then, Elon Musk actually, put a lot more money into it because that Richard Branson, he has airlines and shit like that and Virgin Air, and I think he has a couple cruise ships. And
Well, anyways, that Neuralink shit is like going into like the brain and like it's like kind of like a little chip thing, but it's like you go into like your all these different like little nerves and shit, and it's like gonna like basically connect you to the internet.
kind of Big Brother, eh?
Yeah, it
little
looks
1984 George Orwell kind of shit.
It's fucking crazy. I just think that we're all kind of like that anyways with our phones. We're all kind of like walking cyborgs anyways. We can like just easily find out anything you want to know.
It's one
anything you
thing-
want to know, you can just kind of pull it out and just pick it up.
It's one thing to be on your phone, but you get something hooked up to your brain that can somehow transmit what you're thinking. How many people would be in prison, just because, man,
I think that's the future.
I'd really love to kill this motherfucker.
I think that's the
And
future.
That pops up on like Homeland Security saying, "Oh, this guy wants to kill this guy." No, not like literally.
No.
It's just something that goes
No.
on. No, it doesn't matter. You wanted to kill him. You're going to jail for.
I think the future is where there's not going to be really anybody like talking like this. It's going to be just be more like just kind of talking without talking.
Tune into our brainwaves at
Yeah.
www.obscurebrainwaves.com. We don't even have to talk. We just sit here and
It's
stare at each
really
other.
wavy over here.
Yeah, the video would just be us staring at each other.
Obscured.
Obscured Radio Brainwaves.com.
All
Tune in for the
right.
zaniness.
Zany. Wacky.
Zany
Wild.
and wacky.
Oh my God. I can't believe it.
Oh, it's gonna be a thing, dude.
Why did everybody talk like that back then?
Wacky,
I actually did research on this at one point when
Did you?
when I was trying to,
Wow.
when Screaming Scott told me to find, study
Screaming Scott.
He's like, he has. Do you know who Screaming Scott is? WRIF. Riff,
No.
the big rock station in Detroit. He's got his tagline is like, he'd be pop out and go, "Hey!" That's his thing. And Arthur Penhallow had,
Hey!
and Arthur P, he'd be like,
Arthur P.
"Baby, WRIF." They all
Yeah.
had their little tag things. It's because that kind of shit, it's easily, if you can come up with something like, "Hey!" or "Baby," when it's that voice, and if you hear it enough, it gets ingrained into your head, and so you will forever remember that. You've never probably heard of Arthur Penhallow or Screaming Scott, but you're gonna forever remember, "Hey, baby," you're gonna remember that forever, and be like, "Who's the guy who does hey?" And then
Yeah.
it's that one DJ in Detroit. It gets people's attention. It's different than monotonous talk like this. Like these words that
Yeah.
I'm saying in this kind of like conversational manner. None of these words are gonna stick in people's mind banks. It's digestible information. You're gonna take it in. You're gonna shit it out. You're gonna be done with it. That's gonna be the end of it.
All right, thanks.
When you, that's what talk is. You don't remember every single word.
no, you don't. You don't.
You're not gonna remember every.
You just
single word
remember
say.
key things, and then you gotta kind of sometimes you just remember.
The information goes in, you digest it in your head, you process it, and then.
But
it's
sometimes
gone.
you leave a little cube of like, so you have to go back to it to remember exactly what it was. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But you're like a bookmark.
Yeah.
You're like, I do remember this, but I have to go back.
You know, it's
Figure it out.
it's this is all digestible information.
Yes.
You know, you're in that moment, you're listening to information, you're processing in your head, you're developing your opinions on it, you're developing all this, you know,
All in real time.
all in real time. And then after it's over, it's over.
It's
and
over.
You're done with it, and you'll wait for the next episode and do the same thing over and
Yep.
over. When you have the crazy and wild
Whoa,
zany
whoa,
DJ
here we
every weekend
go.
like this, you're like, oh man, you know, that kind of triggers, you know, oh, this is this guy.
Right.
You know, I enjoy this guy. I don't remember what he talked, but I know that I enjoy him because his banter, whatever it is, it sticks in your brain forever. It's more than just, you know, that digestible information that once it's over, and that's it. You know,
Yes.
it lingers.
Linger.
And then once you hear it enough, you know, this is not to get too political, but
Oh.
this is, you know, a part of psychology. And I actually studied this when I was looking at the radio as well. If you say something repeatedly over and over and over and over and over and over and over to
over
massive
and
amounts of
over.
people, it doesn't matter how wrong it is. And the first time you hear it, you know, I could tell you, I'm a damn alien. I have tentacles inside my penis right now. And if I repeated that to you every 5 minutes for the next 4 years, at some point you're going to start being, maybe he does. And then at the end of
Yeah.
it, yes, he definitely does, because I've been hearing about this for so long. So anything you say, repeat it long enough and frequently enough, you will eventually start to believe it at some level.
Right.
You might not be fully invested in it and fully believe it, but
Well,
you
that's
will
why
believe
they-
it on some level. You will at least acknowledge the possibility of it being real.
That's why they tell you not to, like, you know, talk down about yourself all the time. Say, like, you suck at this, or you're like, I suck at this,
Yeah.
and all the time. Because if you, the more and
Eventually
more you
you'll
tell
believe it.
yourself that, you're just going to believe it.
Yeah,
And that's what starts this big, long road to depression. And you just, you know, just get yourself out of that
it's
self.
the same.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing.
Yep.
You know, and politicians do this all the time. They can, you know, if they have one thing, you know, whatever side of the you're on, they say something enough, eventually you're gonna at least acknowledge the possibility that what they're saying is real.
Right.
Because they've stuck with it for this long, rather than just you know, a flub or a slip of the lip or something like
Yeah.
that. You know, if they stick with something long enough, at the very beginning, be like, this guy's full of shit. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. And then you go 4 or 6 years down the line, he's still saying it. Huh. Maybe it is real. Maybe Rikki really does have tentacles growing out of his penis
What
right
the
now.
fuck?
Maybe he really does.
Wow, he really
You
does
know,
believe
so
in
it's,
aliens.
it's that psychology, you know,
Yes.
that a lot of, you know, that goes back to the
Hey.
it's all part of the psychology of broadcast.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
is.
It's crazy when you start digging into some of this shit.
Yeah. It's fucking
Yeah.
just it's like
Yeah.
it's just like posts online now. Like, you got to use emojis and you got to do all this other stuff. Like, hey, like,
It's-
cool.
You know, it's, you know,
you got to use a little bang bang.
And-
an event's coming out.
It-
It's the same.
so you bring
kind of the same thing.
that up. You know, bands that are promoting their shows. Hey, we're playing at Diesel with this band, this band, this band, this band. That's wonderful. You know, that's not going to stick with you. You know,
No.
when I'm promoting a show, I'll think about it and word
Yes.
it and put a lot of content into it.
I will have it
a lot of-
sitting there on my computer or phone for like a half hour,
and,
like rereading
something
it. Is
to
this
read.
okay?
Because you're looking at your Facebook, you're scrolling down your feed, you know, you see the Facebook event page with your, you know, concert poster or whatever on there, and a
Yeah.
one-word thing, playing Diesel with this. Screw it,
Okay.
that's a one-line thing.
Yeah.
If they see that same thing pop up and there's some content behind it, wow, I know there's this show, but Ricky's got a lot going on here. I'm gonna actually sit here and read this because this looks like a lot more than just him pumping his show,
right.
you know, or pumping a show or something like that.
Right.
So they'll read it, and when you actually read something rather than just scroll past it, you're investing your time in it, and it will stick in your brain more, rather than just scrolling through and you seeing like Death of Blind. Okay, they're playing Diesel. Great.
Yeah,
you
cool.
know,
Yeah.
when you're reading it, you're investing your time. It will stick.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true though.
Yeah.
Like you have to. Like I would spend. Like you can ask my wife too. I'd like have her read it every time I make a little edit to it. I'm like, well, does this look better?
Yeah.
Like when I went to make a post, like it wasn't just a type this up post. Like it was like an hour-long ordeal. Like I'd have it sitting on the screen and like seriously,
There's a legit.
is there like is this like are these emojis placed right? Is 4 arrows down better than 6 or
Yeah.
5? Like I'm telling you, like you
You're-
have to really
It
because
has to be visually appealing. You got to have
Yes.
something that people want to read, and the more you can get people to
Yes.
read and still be interested, because then you run into the problem of
Yes.
writing too much and it not being interesting, and then people losing interest in not only that post but your show. So
Exactly.
there's that weird balance in there where you got to make a post,
Right.
engaging and funny or clever, while getting your point across, but still keeping their attention long enough to have that show kind of boiling in their head, and that thing. So it's a legit. It should be like a doctorate degree to master.
That's why, like, okay, so,
social
like-
media marketing.
I hate to go back to work again, but at my work, there is literally somebody that has the job title of social media specialist.
Yeah,
And I'm like, at first I was like, yeah, like,
and they're probably psychology majors,
It's like, no, she's not. Dude,
No?
she's younger. She's young. Like, no.
or at least has
Like,
some
she's not
experience in psychology.
Okay. Not to say that you can't be young and be a psychology major, but she's not a psychology major, and kind of, okay, and like I'm like, but when you start talking this way, it's like it's really an art. Like, it's kind of laughable, but at the same time, like
Well,
you're kind of needed because not everybody can make a post. I swear to God, it's like you were saying bands and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I'll go across to see a band. It's like they just like kind of crap that out and posted it.
Yeah.
Like, and then you'll come across another band. It's like supremely like you got
edited,
the
formatted,
format. You got an
perfect sentence
outline.
structure,
yeah. You got like the links perfectly placed
Yeah.
with the colon, and then like like it's all.
the colon.
Yeah, a lot of people were probably like, "Isn't that inside you?" No, there is actually a 2-dot colon
Yeah.
that represents. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
you can tell
it's
the difference.
It's a legit, you got to understand at least basics of how a human mind works and keeping somebody's attention. It's the
Yes.
same thing, musicians.
It's hard to figure out.
Musicians do this almost instinctively when they write songs. It's the same mechanism in your brain that how a song should be structured. Where you have your verse, you have your chorus. When a verse is too long. When it's going too long. When your chorus is too short. You just instinctively know it.
Yeah.
When you're typing down a Facebook post, unless you're a literary psychology buff, you don't have that instinct to know this is too long, this is too short, it's not structured right, it's not this. As a musician, you're using that same thing, you're just not but not familiar with literary and psychological thing that keeps people engaged in text. When you're, like I said, when you're making music, when the verse is too long, when the chorus is too long. Somebody that's into literature or writing and psychology, they see that the same way a musician does their verse and chorus. Okay, this paragraph's too long. It's not keeping attention. We gotta, this is gonna be our verse part. We gotta get the, make them laugh a little bit. The chorus part, the big hook. This is where we're gonna put the pertinent information.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna go back, make them chuckle a little bit, something for them to read, keep their attention. Back to another chorus. Throw out the pertinent information again.
Right.
So it's the same. You're using the same quadrants of your mind. Properly structuring those out.
I guess when you say it
as
that
a
way,
musician
yeah.
does structuring a song.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna
cool
think.
stuff.
I mean, I've never personally thought about it like that way, like trying to make a post as if it was a song. Like got your, like typical structure for songs. Like you got your intro, verse, chorus, verse 2, chorus, bridge.
Yeah, and it's
Then
just, it's
chorus end, or you might throw in a verse 3 chorus
just, and
end.
then you're going to run into the thing where like your post might be too long. Same thing with a song.
And your
Be like,
chorus is the show.
Does this song really need to be 10.5 minutes long? Is there some fat that we can chop
Can we
off
trim
this?
the fat? Can we trim verse 3?
Because
And just put the chorus.
I see so many people that kind of do that. Do this. They'll write long, rambling posts, and it's like you can knock half that shit out there, still keep it engaging, still get the information out. It's the same thing as be like, do we really need 7 choruses? Do we really need 3 solo breaks? Do we need a drum solo? Do we really need this? We can chop all this stuff out and still get the message of the song across.
Just put a link to your blog post, please.
Do people still do blogs?
I don't think so,
Is that
man.
a
I've
thing still?
seen it. I've seen people advertise their blog posts.
I thought that went the way of like LiveJournal. You remember LiveJournal?
LiveJournal, where you sit in front of a camera and you just
No,
blog?
this is way before cameras.
Oh,
or
okay.
anything. It was like literally like a diary. You could.
Could you imagine a diary in front of a webcam?
They call it. I don't even know if LiveJournal's even still a thing. I
Probably
'cause
not. Look it up, Rich. Look up LiveJournal.
I because it was just
Holy crap.
the term blog didn't come out until after
Blog.
LiveJournal, but it was like you just like write down like a diary, like what you did that day, and you can share it with your friends and family. So it was like, oh shit, is LiveJournal still I can't see half of that screen, but
Yeah, we're struggling with this. We'll get through it.
yeah. See,
Can you move it over a little more, Rich? There he's got to literally look into here to move it. So we'll cut him some slack.
Yeah, that's pretty much LiveJournal. It's a pretty much just like a
LiveJournal.
blog.
Wow.
But it
Just
was
blogs.
a blog before blogging was a
I
thing.
wonder if this was taken over by like reporters. They're like, yeah, LiveJournal.
Yeah,
fuck
it
you.
looks a lot different than it did when I
I'm
had a
sure.
LiveJournal.
When did you have a You had a LiveJournal.
I was probably right around when the internet came out.
So-
when you go to websites and shit, when that was
you're
a
like
legit thing.
posting some bullshit. You're like, my mom said.
Yeah, it was just dumb shit like, oh, well, I got a shitty grade in school again today. Take it easy, journal. Kind of like, it was like a fucking diary.
Was
kinda
there
thing.
like, could you see if people read it?
At
that time?
I believe you could leave like comments and
Could you
shit
leave
like
comments,
that on it.
likes and stuff?
No, likes
people-
wasn't a thing. You just do like a comment.
Just a comment.
Like
Did
on
you
the
get
bottom.
comments?
No, because I never really shared it with anybody.
Who are you going to share it with on the internet at
there
that
was
time?
there was
no.
it was whoever
social media?
was on your AOL account, whoever your friend was,
Your
whatever
AIM?
whatever your screen name was.
What was your screen name?
W Axelrose 02. And then I had one at one point. That was
W
one
Axel Rose 02.
there was a couple that, back in the day they had like uppercase X, lowercase x, uppercase X, bad boys.
Oh,
with the
yeah, with the Z.
352 XXX.
Whoa,
Kind of things like that.
we got the area code in
Yeah.
there. Was that the area code or no?
No, X. No, just the letter
35
X.
No, 352.
What? No, it's just a random number
Oh,
because
it's just random. Because that's how hard you are.
No, because the original one wasn't available.
Oh, yeah, so you get the
then
random
they just
number.
throw some numbers at the end.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, I had a couple of those at one point, or that was around my Jinko jeans phase.
Dang.
I was just talking to somebody about Jenko jeans. I was talking to my guitar player about Jenko jeans.
Dude, those motherfuckers. Outrageous, man.
Oh God, I had the big ones, man. And I tell my mom, like, when you go get my wallet chain, I don't want none of that Hot Topic bullshit. I want you to go to Ace fucking Hardware and get some of that Zach Wild chains.
My wife still looks for those. I mean, not those, not Jenko jeans, but she still looks for like the jeans that got the huge bell bottoms, like bigger bell bottoms. Like they don't sell them anymore.
They're called boot cut.
Well, no, like actual, like kind of poof out a little bit at the end.
Oh,
Like, you
yeah,
know.
boot cuts poof out, but not like
Not-
bell bottoms.
Yeah.
where they're covering your shoes.
Yeah, like whatever. But they don't sell that shit no more. She had some ones. I mean, they weren't
Salvation
like
Army.
we're not
sweetie.
talking like 70s, like where it was like woo, but they
Yeah.
don't sell. That's just
The
not
90s,
his style.
The 90s
Yeah,
style.
the 90s style,
like
I
the
guess.
Jinkos and the Riders.
Well, Jinkos, but weren't Jinkos jeans just like all big?
Yeah,
Like the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah,
jeans were just big.
yeah. You
Yeah.
had like what 30-inch legs and shit like that, where you could fit like a small child in there. You
Yeah,
know,
holy
and
shit. Yeah,
back
they
when
were
Air-
just so big.
back
Like,
when Airwalk wasn't cheap.
why was that popular anyways?
Jenkos.
Yeah, because
Because
I was
you had-
obviously I was like too young for that phase.
Because you had I guess that influx of, you had bands
they
like
look terrible.
Insane Clown Posse. That was kind of like an underground the Juggalo thing was starting to hit big. I think that's where pretty much that came from.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that
Juggalos
and new metal.
and new metal, they wore like the big cargo pants and the huge shorts that went almost down to your ankles kind of thing. And,
Right.
Having I used to buy when I was that age, I'd buy 4X t-shirts.
Yep, I was the same way.
Jeez, really?
I'd go to Hot Topic and be like, give me the biggest fucking shirt you got, and be like, dude, you're 5'7", $180. I'm like, I want a 4X. It has to it has to go down to my knees.
Yeah.
And then you have the Jenkos that were 40 inches
like,
each
why,
leg,
man?
and it would be dragging on the ground. And
Y'all just look like you got what you could get.
it was a thing. And it's like now,
If they're closed, put them on.
now fast forward, Rikki Roxx. I just wear 2X because I'm just fat.
Now
And-
fast forward to I'm a totally different person.
Yeah, and now my pants are like nut huggers that I wear on stage.
Nut huggers.
Yeah,
Oh, you got the nut huggers? You're like,
well, I
gotta show off the bulge,
I
honey.
got.
I'm sorry.
I wear boot cuts.
Sorry, honey.
I wear boot cut $700 pants.
You're gonna
now.
be salivating the whole night.
Yeah,
I got
dude. And when I do
my nut huggers
when I do
on.
that when I do that thing that you were talking about with the bass guitar and humping it and shit like that, that's when you start getting those woofers pretty much barking at your gate trying to get some
Yeah.
of that bone.
Yeah, because it's boned at that point. Because you're like, I'm ready. This show needs to
Yeah.
end.
Yeah,
Get ready.
No, not some of those. It's gross, dude.
Dude, there is some shows where you're just like, all right, I'm ready for this to end. Have you ever played a show where you're just like, all right, I'm ready for this to end?
90% of them. Yeah, as playing in all these bands for all this.
What
amount of
was your
time
worst show
that I've ever played?
ever played? I'll tell you mine. My worst show
You give me a
ever
minute, yeah.
played. My worst show I ever played was at Mulligan's, and it turned out, Rich was selling merch for us.
I love that room. I love Mulligan's.
The only reason why I hate it is because it cuts out all the other bar traffic. That's why I don't like it.
What do you mean it cuts it out?
Don't get me wrong, I like Mulligan's,
Yeah.
but because it's a separate room. When you're in a bar where the stage is kind of over there, like it's not in a separate room. Like
Yeah,
you-
but Mulligan's
kinda
doesn't
have-
charge cover or anything, do they?
No, they don't.
yeah.
But they only pay you by who's in the room.
I've always been pretty taken care of I played Mulligan's twice.
Well, I'm not complaining about the pay because when you play metal, you're not playing for the money. I mean, come on. That's-
When you play any kind of music, you ain't doing it for the money.
so I'm just saying.
Okay, so you're at Mulligan's, your worst show.
So my worst show. Yeah, thank you.
Get you back on track. I want to see if this is any worse.
Yeah, thank you. I helped you earlier. You helped me out.
Yeah.
So it's probably, I don't know.
It's so bad. Even their merch guy was embarrassed.
He was embarrassed. So we played. What did we play? Last?
Yes.
Or were we second?
You were last.
So was this like a 3-band bill? 4 or 5?
Three bands.
3 bands. Okay.
3 bands. So we were playing 12-1, I believe.
The
And
headlining spot.
The first two
Woo!
bands were rock bands.
first 2 bands were kind of rockish.
Oh, wonderful.
And like, so we get on stage, and the guitarist, he's like kind of drunk, and I did not plan on him like thinking he was gonna be this drunk, but he was. So
How drunk was he? Like
he
this
was
is kind of tie into my
he
story.
he was drunk. Like I didn't know he was that drunk, so
Was
he must
like
have been hiding it.
falling over.
No, he was not
drunk?
falling over drunk. He was playing our songs without his guitar on, like there was no volume. So we were playing a song, and it was me, and mind you, we were down our second guitarist. Okay, our second guitarist was out, or no, our
No, your
bassist.
bassist
Our
was gone.
bassist was
He was
gone.
overseas.
He was overseas. He's with the National Guard, Scotty Lang. Shout
Yeah.
out. So he was overseas. So we had our second guitarist play bass. We're like, we'll do it as a 3-piece.
right,
You're gonna play bass because we need bass.
right.
So again, you're always needed. So I'm like, I vote bass over second guitar.
Right.
So that's what we went with. So it was just me and the
like
bass
Fate
player.
of Misery. Fate of Misery is just guitar player and a drummer.
I know. Well, I did that too.
Yeah.
I did that with an old band when I was over in Bay City called Stereotype.
Yeah.
And it was just drums and guitar.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we're going to play this show. And dude, we played a whole fucking song and there was just no guitar. And he's like singing.
And he's rocking
and he's
out.
rocking
He's
out.
rocking
and I'm
out.
like, and I'm like looking at him like, dude, there's nothing. And like, he's like, look over and like, he just like keep going. And I'm like, do I stop? I don't know if I should stop right now. Do I
Jesus.
and we kept going. And then he'd like go back and fiddle with his amp and then like kind of stumble a little bit and go back and play. And there was still nothing there. And I look over at the sound guy and he's just like this. And I'm just like, I don't know what to fucking do. And now, granted, there wasn't a huge crowd, right? There wasn't a huge crowd.
Yeah.
And
It don't matter though.
but it don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter because there's somebody that comes up to him and he's like, yeah, I came out to see you guys.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, even that one
we could have
person-
sold a shirt. You know, even that
Yeah.
one person. Well, little did I know that was going to be our last show we ever played anyways.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But at the time.
Yeah.
Because then ship kind of went capoodle after that, which is whatever.
Motherfucker don't even know how to turn his guitar amp on.
I was like, that wasn't even the issue. But, like, I'm like, that was the worst show I ever played because I felt so embarrassed. I was just like, I don't know what to do right now. Like, I thought he was going to get it together, fix your amp. Like, how long do I
Right.
play until you stop?
Right. Mine's, I was kind of, debating between two. And I have one that's kind of similar to that. I was in, and the reason it's my worst because I was really looking forward to this show. So I was in a band called Dirty Whiskey back in the day. They ended up kicking me out, and the band fell apart. They ended up reforming everybody in the band minus me and the drummer. I took the drummer to my next band, 6 Months Gone. So the guys that were left started a new band called New Day Revolution. And
Are they still around?
they just broke up. I was in that band
okay.
for about a year, and they just broke up. And so
That
we
was
had
kind of recent, right?
it was about a year or so ago.
Okay, yeah.
They
I
ended.
remember.
And so there was a show at the Ritz, or Hot Rock, whatever the fuck they call it these days. And it was Ghost of August, who at the time had that song Disease, which was really huge. At the time, they were pretty much the biggest Detroit rock band in town. It was all over all over FM radio. And Ronnie Salami. If you remember Ronnie at all?
That guy,
Ronnie
yeah.
Davis.
Yeah,
He
the
looks
guy
like
with
Santa.
yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, okay, I'm in 6 months gone at this point, and the other guys from Dirty Whiskey had formed New Day Revolution. We're both on the same bill. So this is the first time I've seen my old band since they pretty much said, hey, yo, bro, no bueno, we're not a thing anymore. And so have you ever played a show where you're in a band and then somebody else, the other band on the bill is guys that you've been in a band with? Have you
No.
ever? So you have this sense of wanting to show them what they gave up
We were
on.
going to, but no.
So you kind of get that kind of thing where it's like, I'm going to play the best show of my life and show these motherfuckers
yeah. I get what you're
they
saying.
missed out on.
Oh, for sure.
So, what was it? I believe. Oh, we were playing before New Day Revolution, so it was 6 months gone. New Day Revolution and Ghost of August, and so I plugged my bass in. Everybody we sound check and all this shit.
Everything's going smooth.
Everything's going smooth. I look out in the crowd. I'm like, there's that fucking singer. There's a fucking guitar player. There's other fucking guitar player. They're all fucking staring at me. My old band. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is it. I'm going to show these motherfuckers what's up.
What the fuck is up?
So,
Oh,
I had my amp turned off because I was going to run up to the bar, get a drink or something real quick. I flip it back on, and I'm like, all right, let's go. I hear it click on, ready to go. First song. I hit my big first chord, the dun kind of thing.
Oh no!
All the monitors just crunching. You can't hear. It was so loud you could not hear the drummer
Oh my god.
hitting snare drums. You couldn't hear it. The whole place
Oh
was
my God.
completely blown up.
No.
So I'm like, okay, not a problem,
No.
guys. Give me 1 minute. Maybe I just have a loose pot on my guitar or something. I pull it out, grab my other guitar, plug
Did
it
you
in.
turn the volume down? before you
Yeah,
pulled
no,
it up?
turn everything off, turn it, plug my next bass in. Same thing, turn on like this. So I'm like, I'm out of basses at this point.
Yeah.
So I go back to my first one. They're like, Ricky, try turning your bass down a little bit, and give it a try again. At this point, I am embarrassed.
Oh yes.
I am
Oh yes.
livid.
Oh,
I am
yes.
pissed. I wasn't drunk.
You
or
just
any-
sound checked.
I wasn't like drunk or anything like that. I had a nice little buzz going on.
Oh yeah.
And
but not
so-
enough to take the
so
pain away from this.
I'm embarrassed and I'm just like ashamed. So I plug my first guitar back in, turn the volume down. I'm at like 1 or 2 on my volume. Turn it on. Same thing. I take my bass, pick it up, and I chucked it over the top of the drummer. And I'm like, fuck this. And I'm like, I'm not going to blow this other bass up. So I stormed off stage. And my bass shatters over the head. I threw it over the head of my drummer, hit the back wall at Hot Rock, and shattered. Neck snapped off. I run outside. I go outside. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm chain smoking and all this shit. And my buddies, who was in New Day Revolution, ironically enough, the bass player for that band, the guy they got to pretty much replace me. He's like, dude, maybe it's your amp. We were kind of cool. He had kind of come and gone on Dirty Whiskey. So I was kind of cool with him. And he's like, dude, my amp's right behind yours. Here, use my bass, just use my amp and all this. And but he is playing a 5-string, so I'm like, I can't fucking do it. I can't find my way around this shit. So the rest of the band kind of fuddles through a couple songs, and they give it. They're like, this just isn't working. So I'm totally embarrassed. I'm loading my shit out, and if you know anything about how to, you don't mic bass amps. You have the direct and all that shit.
Direct
just kinda
line
feeds
in.
this motherfucker, whoever the hell that sound guy was at the Ritz that day, he had like a little tiny Audio Technica, $50 microphone on my 15-inch woofer.
What the fuck?
So it was just blowing everything out. And I'm on them, at this point,
So were you guys opening this night?
it was like a 5-band thing. I think we were band number 3. New Day was 4 and Ghost of August was 5. And so I come back in and I was out in my car. I'm just drinking. I'm whatever I have in my, because I always usually carry some beer or have like a pint or something in my car. I'm just slamming it. The band's kind of mustering through a couple songs like acoustic or something like that. I go back on stage, middle of their fucking song. Fuck this place. You all fucking suck. This is the worst fucking venue in Detroit. This place should be burned down and you should all be fucking castrated. And I'm like, you are the worst motherfucking sound guy in the world. I don't know how the fuck you have a job, but if I see you, I'm going to fucking cut your throat.
Damn.
On the mic. And there's dozens of people out there. They're like, oh my God. And I took the mic away from my singer and I'm saying all this shit. He's looking at me like, this is fucking bonkers. And take that mic, the singer had like a Shure SM50, a nice vocal mic.
Yeah.
I took it, punted it. I threw it on the ground and then I kicked it out into the crowd. Fuck this place. I'm out of here. Never playing this fucking dump again. I didn't play that place for about another 6 years.
Damn.
Yeah, I think that was my worst show as far as performance and like antics and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you really went off that
Yeah,
night.
I was heated. I was heated. Yeah.
You never used that guy's amp though. You said fuck that place after that. I said fuck y'all.
Because at that point I was so heated, and he was a cool dude. And I didn't.
But still, fuck you.
I didn't.
Still fuck you.
I didn't.
I ain't using your shit.
I didn't want to be like, get heated in the heat of the moment and break his shit or something like that.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm just not even gonna fuck with it. Thank you, but this is just I can't salvage this.
Yep.
There's no way we can.
The only thing I've ever had to use was like a drum throne.
Yeah, it's like even if it was the best show he ever did, it's still gonna be that show.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'm not even gonna bother at this point. So yeah, that was probably my worst as far as antics and shit like that. And that's the kind of
Jesus.
shit that kind of got me, you know, because I do that kind of shit, you know, when I was a kid, because I was just 20-something years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throw shit to the wind and just whatever happens, happens. And I kind of developed a name for it, for doing that kind of shit.
Right. Well, I think you should answer some questions that I have written down.
Oh, you actually did some homework.
No, yeah. Well, kind of. Not really. Rich, you want to hit me with some questions, music? Got some questions. Rich, did you fall asleep over there?
Yeah.
Questions, music, and go. Oh my God. Is this the Cars?
No. This will be no known music.
Bob Dylan. Oh, okay.
If you can't tell, all the voices is me.
Oh, is that you? You sound like fucking Bob Dylan.
All right, these are going to be some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Oh shit, rapid fire. All right, let's do it.
All right. What's your favorite food?
Nachos.
What's your favorite color?
Green.
What pisses you off most?
Sound guys.
What is your biggest fear?
Death.
One thing you'll never do again.
Cocaine.
Anal or vaginal?
Vaginal. A lot less work.
Would you rather be the smartest or strongest person?
Strongest, because I could beat the shit out of the smart guys.
What superhero would you be?
Hulk.
Eaten by zombies or suck 5 dicks in a row?
Eaten by zombies a lot quicker.
Your house, her house, or neither when you lost virginity?
Passenger seat of a car.
When was it? How old were you?
It sounds horrible. I think I was like 17.
Why are you lying?
I wish I was.
Fish sticks or fish fillets?
Neither.
BK or McDonald's?
Burger King.
Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi. Cherry.
What do you think of garden gnomes?
My wife loves them.
She loves them?
She loves them. She collects them. She
Really?
loves garden gnomes.
They're all around your house?
Yeah.
What do you think of them?
She's got.
You don't want to say.
She's got. She's got tons.
She collects them.
She's got tons of them. That's like her thing. She loves garden gnomes. So she had like every ledge we have in our house. There's at least one garden gnome in our garden. We have probably about
Holy
5 or
shit.
6 of them. Yeah, my wife loves garden gnomes.
Oh my God.
That's just kind of her thing. Yeah, I don't mind it.
You're shipwrecked, but you have all human needs to survive. What 2 items do you want with you?
Suntan lotion. So I can survive on this island.
Yeah, you can survive, but you that's it. You can just survive.
Suntan lotion and a herd of cows.
A herd of cows.
Steaks.
Ooh.
I want to eat good, man. I don't want none of that foraging for nuts and
Well,
berries.
if you're gonna
shit.
want to, are cows just female, and then bulls?
I think so. I don't.
You're gonna want at least one bull.
Well, I mean, if I had a herd.
Well,
of
if
them,
you're talking about steaks, then your herd of cows is gonna run out eventually.
yeah, but
So
hopefully
you
I'll be
want one
dead
bull.
by then.
Dead? Well, what about?
Like a herd of fucking cows. There's a lot of meat on a fucking cow. If I had a fucking herd, it would probably take me a month to go through a whole cow's worth of meat.
That's true.
If I had a
Well, 1 month on a cow. How much is in a herd?
I don't know. I'd imagine enough to,
Hey,
that's
Rich.
like if I, that's
Rich, just
I'm
Google.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, he's like, I'm getting there. He's like,
I'm
all
already
right,
on
Rich,
it.
all right. That's cool, dude.
already on.
All
Yeah,
right.
if I had, Oh, no. Let me take that back. No, it'd be a herd of cows and a refrigeration system.
And a refrigeration system.
Because if I killed a cow, it would
You'd
probably
want-
probably only
yes.
last for a little bit. So I'd probably a herd of cows and refrigeration system.
Okay. The average herd size in the U.S. is just over 200.
just over 200.
Canadian dairy herds average 80 cows, but worldwide it is just 3 cows. Farms with more than 100 cows make up just 0.3% of total dairy farm population.
The more you know.
The more you know.
So yeah,
200
you know,
cows.
give me about 200 cows. It's not like I'm going to be eating it every day. You know,
You get the refrigeration system,
so I could
and then
kill.
you could definitely stretch that shit out.
Yeah, kill one cow. You know, maybe have a nice dinner whenever I'm done with
Beef tips one night.
Yeah, once I get tired of nuts and berries, maybe get some beef. Just a tip. Just a tip. Just a tip. So you don't want to. You don't want to go full. You don't want to go fully in.
Full beef.
You don't want to go full beef. You know, just the tips. Let's not be greedy. Let's not get crazy here.
It's not get crazy.
We're on
the beef tips.
we're on a secluded island. We can't be going full. Can't be going balls
Full
deep.
beef.
Man. Can't be
Balls
going
deep in the
can't-
beef.
Yeah, can't be going too deep in that. So yeah, you know, make it spread a little.
Yes. Yes. It gets spread.
Bit. See what I did there?
For some reason, I don't think that was skill. I think that was just you said it and you're like, "Yep." I said spread.
That's when you go back to that psychology thing. I have it all built into my head. It just comes out now.
It just comes out, except it wasn't like this. Make it spread.
I was making spread. Ugh. Make it moist.
Make it moist.
Oh, that's one of the words that people say is the worst
Moist?
word. Moist.
Oh, I love it.
Moist.
I love it. I love
Why?
that word because it's just so vile. It's
Vile?
just-
Why is it
it's
vile,
just
though?
So dirty and
Moist.
nasty.
Do I make you moist, baby?
I guess it kind of depends on the context. If you're like, oh man, this cake is very moist.
Yes.
you know, it's a
It's
wonderful
very-
cake.
it's very
this
moist.
is great. It's not dry. It's nice and moist.
But
if
nobody
you're like,
wants
oh,
you to
man,
say that.
babe, your clam is moist.
That shit's moist as fuck.
Wow, it's almost past moist. I'd say
You
we're
are-
on the borderline of wet.
You're dripping, babe. How do you turn that faucet off?
Wow.
I might need to inspect your plumbing.
Yeah, we're not on a slow drip here, honey.
God, people listen to this.
I know, right?
You people out there are sick. They're listening all the way through this. They're like, "Oh man, this is entertaining stuff."
People that make it to the end,
This
right?
is so. This is what's wrong with people.
people. Yeah, I know.
Listen for 3 hours about moist
Well,
clams.
trust me. If I had like- 0 people down,
Oh,
I try to like cover it up and stuff too, because it's just not like pleasing looking. And in the back, like when it goes on Sir Richard over there.
Right.
But like, I thought about just like getting rid of it, and I could like expand it, but it's too much value for the house to keep that shower and the toilet and the sink right there, because it's a whole nother bathroom.
Yeah.
Too much value,
It's weird how they have that set up though.
dude.
It's
When
like
I
you have
bought
like a
this
living
house,
space, but then there's like a bathroom there.
when I bought this house, this was a closet, and there was a bed over there. It was an illegal bedroom,
Yeah.
you know, because they don't have the window.
Egress windows.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, that's what it was. And yeah, I don't know. Everything works. When we redid like our bathroom upstairs, because the bathroom upstairs was absolutely terrible, and it's so small too.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got to use this whole thing down here. It worked. Everything works. Yep, it's great. That's why I won't get rid of it.
Yeah, it's like it's a weird setup though. That it's just like not its own closed off area.
And I thought about closing it off. I could like build a wall down, like an angled wall towards where the door opens. But then I'd have to like turn the sink, and then like it's just gonna be way too cramped.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't. Yeah, it's just fuck it.
Yeah.
It's a second
Yeah.
bathroom.
Does the job.
It does the job. You know.
So hopefully
Half the time, like I'll be working on the computer, and then I gotta take a shit. It's right fucking there, dude.
you should just get like yourself a wireless keyboard and just sit on the toilet and just
With his, yeah, he's got a wireless keyboard. I don't, but I got a wireless mouse. So
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
you can
right there.
sit on the toilet and
Just
get some work
Get
done.
some work done, bro.
Yeah, that's the best
Dude.
time to do it. Maybe if I do some clever editing with this clip here, I can make those.
Yes.
You do your
Yes.
best thinking on the can.
Yes, you do. Sometimes. I don't know.
was
Sometimes
on
I
the
got some
can-
brutal shit sometimes. I'm just like, oh, God.
God, I was on the shitter
You
when
ever
I
got
decided
the
to go back to radio.
You get those spike ball shits where you just like feels like you're just shitting out just
Yeah.
a spike ball.
Yeah, but
Those are like the worst. You're just like,
you know, you gotta look for silver linings. Those spike ones, they're the ones that leave like no residual dew on your.
well, no, I've
You know-
had plenty of shits where it didn't hurt and there was like it was a no wiper.
Yeah, those are the best.
Those are the best.
So I'd
Not,
almost-
but I'd rather do that than a spike ball shit. And
Well, I'd rather have the spike ball shit with like no,
no
blue residue.
No, I'd rather
because
wipe. Some spike balls are terrible.
Like the worst thing is when you have like a nice, moist, lubed up, greasy shit, and then you're like working or something like that, and you're walking around, and you gotta get that, man, it's still in there, and now my butt cheeks are all greasy. And,
oh,
now it's
you
totally
didn't wipe good enough.
Well, it leaks.
It leaks
out.
You think it leaks?
If it's that greasy, there's some
butt grease.
There's the
Butt
butt grease. There's still some up in your anal canal.
You think so?
And
yeah,
then
you think that's what that is?
When you're wiping your butt, you're not going all deep.
It could just be a very minor hemorrhoid that you're experiencing.
I don't think that. I don't think that's.
You've never had a hemorrhoid?
No.
No?
No.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Don't have one.
I'll try.
Really?
I might have to get into some bondage place. And my
I
wife
doubt.
just fucked that
I
up.
doubt you're getting hemorrhoids screwing in 3 bolts a day. So
Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
Kyle got his from scrubbing toilets.
scrubbing toilets, man. No,
Jeez, you're scrubbing too hard, bro.
no, I don't know how I got mine. I forget.
You're just going complete raw dog.
No,
on
we
those
were
toilets.
going-
Yeah,
we
you're gonna
went-
take it, toilet.
We went to a fucking place to explore like a day after basically I was like, I must have a hemorrhoid, right? And we go to this place and there is a big ass like tall hill to climb to get up to this other little lodge that was up there.
Yeah,
And I look at my buddy and my wife came this time too to check it out.
yeah.
I'm looking at her, she's looking at me like, you ain't climbing that mountain. And I'm looking at him, he's like, yeah, we can just get up there. I'm like, I can't do it.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it like hurts like that bad
Wow,
when you
so-
have one that's starting to kind of like stick out.
Yeah.
It
Can't you just like
fucking
pop those
hurts.
things back in?
Fuck, that's what I always thought.
I thought you could just
That's
push
what I
those
always
back
thought.
in.
That's
It
what
like
I always
hurts
thought.
like hell, but it gets rid of it.
Well, no.
Don't then don't you got to do like preparation H or something?
Yeah.
like that? Which
Yeah,
is
that
like
helps.
a
That
little-
Cut
helps.
off too.
But when you're like climbing a hill,
Yeah.
you're using your
You're using your
get-
colon.
yes,
to make
whatever
that height.
muscle
Yeah.
the gooch muscle. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
Is that a muscle?
I
Or is
don't
that
know.
just
I don't
what they
climb
call it?
mountains. I work too hard to.
You work too hard. That's what I used to say when I delivered packages because people say also while I'm driving, but you're fucking in and out of that motherfucker. You're sweating your ass off a lot of times.
Dude,
You get down in like a city, you're man, you're going.
see, like my job is super easy, but the thing about
So you
it
see
is,
these fit delivery guys, you're like, you drive all day, but it's not.
but
really
the thing
case.
about it is, like in the plant, it's I still have to wear, even if it's 100 degrees out, I still got to wear Kevlar everythings to make
So
sure
you're
my.
so you're saunaing your shit
So
off.
pretty much, and now that I have to wear a mask inside,
Ooh, yeah.
So it's like you're like all day, and
No, you're like this.
yeah, and yeah, pretty much. But it's like
How many people are walking around there like this? Honestly.
there's a few, yeah, there's a few.
It's like I
I'm like,
get
come on,
it,
you
I
dumb
get
shit.
it, I
Yeah.
get it, but just you gotta do it because now you look like the idiot.
Yeah.
you can't look like the idiot.
And it's like, my daughter will be like, "Hey, Dad, let's go camping," and I'm like, "Are you crazy? I work very too hard. I work way too
Very too hard.
Very too hard. I work way too hard, Monday through Friday to spend money." To pretend I'm homeless.
You work very too hard.
Very too hard.
to pretend you're homeless.
To
you don't like camping.
No,
Why?
that's what camping is.
love
You
camping.
go out into the woods, lay on the
Exactly.
ground, and pretend you're homeless. You start a fire
Yes.
to heat yourself. What do homeless people do? They get a big oil drum and burn
Yeah.
shit to stay warm. You're
Yeah.
you're pretty much pretending to be a hobo.
You want to know why it's great? It's because you know you can go back home.
See, I just skipped that whole entire part and am thankful
And just
that
stay home.
and that I have a house and I just stay there. And
No.
I don't understand.
Does your wife
camp-
like camping?
No.
She doesn't like camping either?
no.
Oh, well, there you go.
My sister does, and she always takes. I'm like, you want to go camp? Go with your my psycho
do you
sister.
like do you like going on like little day hikes?
No,
No,
No.
You don't give a shit about nature.
Outdoors, no.
Fuck all that.
No, if
mountains.
If it's something like a cabin, I can rock cabins. Shit like that. I love
Drive up to a cabin, like woohoo.
Yeah, I love the atmosphere.
And you're gonna stay
being
inside
outside.
the cabin.
No, I'll go hang out outside. I'll do the fire thing with the s'mores and all that shit. But if I have like a bed with a TV and air conditioning, that's the thing. Like, I don't want to sleep in a fucking sleeping bag on the fucking ground. If it's fucking August, the worst feeling in the world is waking up sweating.
Bro, dude,
It's horrible. My dad used to make me camp all the time when I was a kid. He loved camping. My mom likes camping. My sister likes. I was the one that despised it. And we'd go camping, summer vacation or whatever. August comes around. Hey, we're going camping. We're going up to the lake. We're going to camp out.
Yeah.
So it's like
Tubular.
horrible. Am I getting my SoCal voice on?
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, we're gonna camp it out, man, the whole night. It's gonna be cool.
Californians.
We're gonna rock it, man.
So it's
God
damn it, I'm doing my SoCal voice. I've drank too much.
SoCal.
Jeez, you're good at this. You're like a bro.
Bruh.
Sod.
I can't talk now because now I'm totally paranoid. I'm doing my SoCal bro
Saw
voice.
that.
All right, so talk about something.
Saw it. What? They were telling us a story. That's why I heard it.
God, now I'm afraid to talk because this happens to me. This happens to me when I drink a couple too. Like when I drink.
Everybody laugh. Everybody laugh at him. It's a laugher.
I start getting like, yeah, there it is. That's a bigger crowd than I've ever performed in front of. But I get that weird SoCal bro voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Can you just do it, or does it just have to come?
It just happens.
Oh.
Where I'll just be like, yeah. So I was like outside, I was just like camping and bro, it was, now I'm forcing it, but eventually I just kind of stumble into that kind of thing.
I don't know. I just randomly did that.
I stumble into it, and I know I stumble into it, and I kind of keep it to myself. And then when you start doing like, fuck, did I just stumble into the bro talk, and I didn't know about it?
Bro.
Was I going through my whole camping story here, and I stumbled on my Californians San Bernardino voice, and I didn't even know. But yeah, no, I don't like pretending I'm homeless. I don't enjoy it. It's horrible. I don't know why people do it. Go stay in a cabin. Go get an RV.
We backpacked. Me and my wife. We backpacked. We carried everything we needed in our backpacks. Went all the way out to Minnesota. Went up this fucking trail. There was nobody there. We fucking hiked, and it was starting. And it rained at first, and we were like, "Oh shit,
This sounds awesome,
dude!" But once we got there, we got to our like campsite using our little map and shit, and like it was by a lake. There's nobody there, and it was like one of the most like amazing feelings. And you're just sitting there, and like you start your campfire, and you're just like, and the feeling of like me, the way I think is like, fuck, I got my bear spray and shit. I still got that in my mind, like something like that. Especially once you lay down at night,
yeah,
and you're just hearing these like loons like do their fucking sound and shit,
yeah,
and then you think you hear something because you're never out there. So you're thinking you hear it's like all these like instincts are coming back, and you're like basically primal instinct is what you think. And I'm just like clutching this fucking bear shit the first night. Like we're out there. I'm just clutching.
See, all this stuff you're telling me is reasons why
fun. But to me, it was like
camping is
like,
no bueno.
No, well, that is like extreme camping. What I'm talking about, because we just
like when I go to sleep, I don't want to be
carried
afraid
everything.
that I'm not going to wake up because a bear's going to have my head in his
but
mouth.
nothing happened.
But the fact that
it could.
There's a reason.
Like
humans evolved.
we had to like
into
take our
guns
bag. Like
and
we had a
killing
bear
those
bag.
things.
We had a bear bag, right? And we had to take all of our food. And we had to tie it up a tree and like pull it all the way up this tree, tie it to the tree and shit. So that way, if a bear came, they would have to like try to get all the way up there to get it. Whatever. Yeah, dude. It
sounds horrible.
No,
I
dude. Because once
understand
you get there, you set up camp, you do all that, and then you're sitting there by this lake, and you know that nobody fucking is around at all.
That you know of.
that
You don't see enough horror
that-
movies.
Have
bro.
you not
That you
watched
know
Friday
of.
any
That
Friday
you
the
know of.
13th movie?
Wrong Turn?
All right, you know.
come on,
okay,
man.
all right, that you know. Okay, you want to go horror movie route? Yes, you never know, but you know by online where you purchased our because we had to purchase a
thing is,
permit to be out there.
Yeah.
There is no other permits purchased.
It don't matter. It don't
Well,
take
yeah.
long for a guy from
Yeah.
jail to walk out there.
Yes. No. Well, maybe. I don't think there's any fucking jails that close to there.
Or psychos,
But-
because you know if you
There's
Because the
psychos
second
everywhere.
night where we camped right on a beach, directly across that lake was Canada. So you might have some Canadian folk
Okay,
trying
so
to come over.
when you're saying this is what's in my head. Okay, so you're camping out there all by yourself.
Yeah.
You hear a rustle in the bustle. You know,
Oh,
there's something
rustle.
going. Yeah,
Oh my God.
there's. Don't do this. Don't do this to me. I'm trying to talk here. Don't freak me out. So either you're gonna have a bear out there, you're gonna have a deer or whatever weird animals, or a person out there. If it is a person, chances are 99 out of 100 that is not a person that is in their right mind, because
No.
they're walking in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the fucking night.
Right.
So if it's a person out there, you know he's going to kill you
Or eat you.
or eat you.
Or
You got
eat.
fucking Jeffrey Dahmer and a machete. Just
But maybe it's just
hunting.
me. Because when I heard these rustles that I thought might be something, I didn't immediately think person. I thought animal. And when we go and explore like those abandoned buildings,
Yeah.
Eric was always more worried about a person to where I was always more worried about an animal. So maybe it's just me and animals. But I would be way more concerned walking into an abandoned building, you're going around, you walk into a room, and there's like a rabid dog there, or something, like a big ass motherfucker. And then he comes barreling at you. Then I walked in, there's some fucking crackhead in there all cracked out. And maybe even he had a knife. And he's like, I think I have way more of a chance with the crackhead with a knife than a dog, a big ass motherfucker. Like I walk in, whoo, whoo, come right at me. Fuck.
But
I
the
have
thing
way more of a
is-
chance against the dude.
But the thing, when you're in an abandoned building,
Do you have way more of a chance against the dude or the dog?
the dog,
The dog.
Yeah.
You think so?
you punt that motherfucker in the face.
Yeah, maybe, but the dog
if
is way faster than
if,
the dude.
If the dude's coked out, it don't matter if you stab him in the leg. He's still coming for you.
But I think the dog is way more faster at the first initial
Drugs,
walking in.
Drugs,
'Cause you're
dogs are
walking
cracked
in-
out.
You're walking into an unexpected situation.
With
Is
a-
what I'm
with-
imagining. You're
with a-
walking in, you're not knowing anything. Boom, you walk into the door. The crackhead's on your ass like that, or the dog. I think the dog's gonna be like, whoa, like too fast. To
So
react.
the dog, all you need is one good hit, and it will put the dog down.
You think so?
yeah.
If you
Okay.
get
Yeah.
one good kick to the head on a dog, you'll break his neck. He'll be down.
Okay.
A cracked out meth head, you can shoot him in the leg. You can shoot him in the arm. He's so hyped up on shit. It don't matter what you do unless you shoot him in the head. He's
Okay.
gonna be coming for you. A dog, one
I
nice
can see
punt to
that.
the head, he's done. Unless that dog is doped up too.
I mean, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I've been around a lot of sketchy characters, and when they're cracked out, you can punch them in the face and they're still coming at you. They don't register pain, so you can shoot them in the fucking arm and they're going to take their limb and smack you with it and then kill you and eat your penis.
Jesus Christ.
I've been attacked by a dog and just one
Oh.
hit and it was done.
I was attacked by a crackhead. You can't put them down. You cannot put them down. I grew up in
Whoa.
Detroit in the 90s. It was a thing.
Well, I think everybody should definitely be giving you a listen on Rocks 100 there.
You can
Give
hear
you a
this
little-
dumb
give you
bullshit
a
all
little
the time on my show. Here we talk about
No, I do. I tune in, when I can and stuff on the Sundays and stuff.
Yeah.
And you do the Fridays now too. You do
yeah,
stuff on
the
Fridays.
Friday thing on Rocks 100 is, I used to do it way back in the day, which was like a top 5 or a top 10 or something like that. Because on the website, Rocks, I guess this is where I do my plugs and shit
Yeah.
now. So, rocks100.com, we have like over 700 songs that are playing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on that. And we also have some really cool shows earlier in the day. And, there's this cool widget I found, that was with the streaming service where you could do requests, so you'd scroll through a list, be like, oh, I want to hear that song, boom, and it'll go up on the stream and play. So, and there's another thing in there that shows how many times a song has been requested. So I'm like, dude, this is a totally killer idea for another show. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the top 5. Rather, back in the old days, it was people sending me emails. Play this song. So I'd have like 500 emails a week that I had to go through and tally them up. This does it all for me. So I just go in on Friday. All right, there's the top 5 songs. Boom, make a damn show out of it. And, some Fridays are better than others, but, that's the thing with live. You're pretty much in that one time spot. You can go back and watch them later, but
with the replays,
it's hard.
and stuff.
Yeah, it's hard getting the organic in that moment people to pay attention to it. Mostly when it's on Facebook, kind of like in the news feed and flooded out there.
Yes.
But the Sunday show, that's the big one. The show that it used to be called the Rikki Roxx effect. I did that for years and years and years and years.
No, like Roxx 100.
Well, the show that I do on Roxx 100 is the Rikki Roxx show.
Yeah,
Roxx
Rikki
100
Roxx
is the
show.
actual network or the actual channel. But my old show used to be called the Rikki Roxx effect. I did that for 6 years, and then I'm like, this is stupid. I'm putting that, I'm putting the legacy of that show. Because
we're moving on.
We're
the Rikki Roxx.
That was
show.
a Detroit centric show.
Right.
If you were from Indiana, I want nothing to do with you. It was all about Detroit. Detroit.
Fuck you.
And when I started Roxx 100, I'm like, yo,
Detroit's we need to
not,
expand.
Detroit's not the only fucking game. There's independent bands everywhere. So I'm like, dude, you're killing me, bro. You're fucking killing me. So
I'm not even saying. I'm just saying
you're like,
it.
all right, bro. So long story short, with the Rikki Roxx show, I'm like, dude, we're just going to talk to some cool people. And, we've talked to... We've talked to guys from Tantric, Saving Abel. Yeah, we're talking to the lead singer of Anvil coming up in a little bit, and a lot of cool stuff.
Throwing down that anvil.
Jesus Christ. Am I really getting that bad?
No, it's just me.
Oh, I thought I was like losing my bearings here.
No, dude, you made
Because in my head, I
you
said
brought up bro again. I'm like, I didn't realize I was saying bro that much that time. So I was like, oh, bro, it's
I'm
me.
like, man, am I still stuck in that San Bernardino, Californians thing?
I'm like, no, it's me. I went on the bro.
Oh man,
Oh,
you're getting me all paranoid now.
Oh shit. Well, everybody needs to go listen to Roxx 100.
Go listen
The
to
Rikki
back
Roxx-
episode of
what?
Obscured State of Mind podcast.
Yes.
Listen to all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
You're-
There is plenty.
This is 27, so you have
Plenty of dumb shit to listen to.
27 times 3, so you have pretty much about like what?
What?
About 3 straight days if you listen 24 hours a day.
Hey,
You
there
listen
you-
for about 3 straight days.
If you believe his math, that's what you got.
I don't believe my math. I'm a bass player. I can't afford. That was hard math there. I'm like, okay, 3 hours.
I think it was
3
good time.
hours, 27 shows. Maybe 80 hours. It's a lot of hours.
It's a lot of fucking hours.
It's a lot of fucking hours.
It is.
And I
can't
give
believe
it to you for actually sitting here with me for 3 fucking hours. I can only
Shit.
usually deal with a musician for about 35 minutes.
I mean,
I'm like, I fucking
it didn't
hate you now.
feel like 3.5 hours, but
Well, there was
3
a lot
hours or whatever. But
Yeah. I give you kudos for actually sitting out with the same person for that long. After about 30
interesting.
minutes, I'm like, fuck this guy. I never even want to see this guy's band again.
All right. Fuck this guy. I'm taking off. I got
There
to
it is.
piss.
There it is.